Naruto, in the Sand Village with Pokémon. Rasa traveled to the world of Naruto and became the fourth Kazekage Rasa. From then on, the ninja world completely collapsed. Pokémon gyms were established in various cities one after another, and trainer competitions and coordination competitions were held in full swing. What impact will the Pokémon Alliance, headed by the Sunagakure Village, bring to the world? Chapter 1. Luoshat, Traveling Through Time. The 26th year of Sunagakure, December 7th. Sunagakure Ninja School. 6-year-old Luoshat stared at the teacher at the podium in a daze, because at this moment there was a page in front of him that showed loading 6%. That's right, this Luoshat is not that Luoshat. In his previous life, Luoshat was an ordinary undergraduate student on Blue Star. With his quick hands after being single for 20 years, he successfully grabbed the volunteer opportunity of marathon volunteer in the school volunteer group. On the day of volunteering, Luoshat, who had put on the red volunteer uniform and red hat at 5 a.m., had an accident on the way out of school on a bus with the main group. As it was dark, a dump truck speeding on the road hit the bus after making a sharp turn. I don't know how many people survived the accident, but Luoshat was gone. The god of time travel, the director of the newly established time travel department in heaven, couldn't bear to see so many lovable and active college students who volunteered to go to the underworld, or it could be for performance, so he sent them all to the time travel department. Each of them had a small world, and also gave them a system. A man assigned to Naruto world number 9527 is about to realize his ninja dream and ignites the raging wall of fire. He hurriedly received the Naruto system and ran to the world gate, but ended up entering the wrong set and ended up in Pokémon World No 9528. Luoshat was assigned to the Pokémon world. The great god of traveling. Passerby A, B, C, D. Luoshat reluctantly got the Pokémon system and came to the world of Naruto. Since the system was not compatible with the world, in order to avoid complaints afterwards, the time-traveling master helped Luoshat to urgently apply for after-sales customer service, and gave Luoshat a compensation package and contact information. At the same time, Luoshat is given a small privilege. Luoshat can choose to reincarnate as a marginal character in the original work. Rasa immediately chose the fourth Kazekage Rasa, who had the same name as him. First, marginal characters are either weak or of low status, with few options. Second, they share the same name, and Luoshat feels that they have a strong bond. Third, Rasa likes Gaara very much. Since he can't become Gaara, he will become Gaara's father. As for the fact that the fourth Kazekage was classified as a marginal character, who cares? After all, he was the shadow who was killed by Ant Snake, the weakest shadow who was killed early in the plot. When he opened his eyes again, Rasa came to the world of Naruto and became a hungry baby. Since infants and young children are not suitable for exercise, the Ministry of Time Travel stipulates that the system should be turned on when the host is 6 years old. And Rosa's system has been updated and patched during these 6 years. The updated system has been localized and successfully converted the combat power of Pokémon into the standard of the ninja world. However, the Pokémons cultivate the power of nature, which is the natural energy cultivated by the 3 holy places, rather than chakra. Pokémon World, Pallet Town. Naruto system, ding, data loading error. My dear friend who has entered the wrong world, I want to complain. Naruto system, ding, data loading error. Sand Village, Ninja School. Ding, the Pokémon System Ninja World Adaptation version 1.0 is now online. Hello, host. I am Xiao AI. It is my honor to serve you. A burst of electronic sound rang in Luoshat's mind, and at the same time, the progress bar on the panel in front of him finally loaded to 100%. Artificial intelligence? Why does this name sound so familiar? Listening to this familiar voice from previous life, Luoshat thought. At this time, Luoshat was still in the classroom, so he couldn't speak out loud, so he tried to silently say, Xiao AI. I'm here. Knock on the wooden fish. At this moment, the familiar electronic wooden fish interface popped up on the page in front of Luoshat. Luosha, 6. He closed the interface with his mind and opened the tutorial. Xiao AI's voice rang in his mind. The Pokémon system, as the name suggests, can summon Pokémon, also known as Pokémon, pocket monsters. There is no upper limit to the number of Pokémon that the host can capture, and other people can also capture Pokémon through Pokeballs. However, the host only has 6 bond positions. After placing the Pokémons in the bond positions, each bonded Pokémon can provide the host with an additional 10% of the Pokémon's strength. When the number of bound Pokémons is full, the host can pay Pokémon coins to replace the bound Pokémons. After the Pokémon's strength is converted. Level 110 is for Reserve Ninjas. Level 1120 is Genin. LV 2130 is a Chunin. LV 3140 is an Elite Genin. LV 4150 is a Special Jonin. LV 5160 is a Jonin. LV 6170 is an Elite Jonin. LV 7180 is the Shadow level. LV 8190 is Super Shadow. LV 91100 is the 6 paths. Except for Konoha, the strength of the Genin in each ninja village is not much different, so there is only one level. The gap between Chunins is divided into 2 levels. After all, some Chunins are useless after using 2C level ninjutsu, and are only slightly stronger than Genins. There is a big gap between the Jonin, and they are divided into 3 levels. Above level 70, there are more detailed divisions. By analogy, the Super Shadow and the 6 paths are also subdivided in this way. Since there are no Pokémons in the world of Naruto, all Pokémons come from the system, including Pokémon food, Pokémon balls, Pokémon props, etc. The host's main task is to promote the Pokémons in this world and make the Pokémons an integral part of the lives of the people in this world. The system functions include 6 functions: Pokémon Query, Pokémon Wall, Map, Lottery, Achievements, and Backpack. One Pokémon Query can view the information of any Pokémons within meters of the host. 2. You can purchase Pokémon-related products in the Pokémon Wall. You cannot buy Pokémon directly, you can only buy Pokémon eggs. Among them, the Pokémon Habitat type of products were newly added after the patch. The Pokémon Habitat can transform the area within its range. The transformed area forms a complete Pokémon ecological chain, where wild Pokémons can thrive and reproduce. However, the transformation needs to follow basic principles. For example, a desert can only be transformed into a desert habitat and cannot be transformed into other terrains such as grassland or forest out of thin air. 3. The map is a map of the entire ninja world, which marks all the areas in the ninja world that are suitable for transformation. It can help the host popularize the Pokémons throughout the world. 4. There are 2 ways to draw the lottery: 1 draw for 100 Pokémon coins and 10 draws for 900 Pokémon coins. The quality of the prizes is divided into 6 levels from low to high: white, green, blue, purple, orange and red. The guaranteed minimum for 10 draws is green, the guaranteed minimum for 100 draws is blue, the guaranteed minimum for 1000 draws is purple, the guaranteed minimum for 10,000 draws is orange, and the guaranteed minimum for 100,000 draws is red. Isn't it very cost-effective? With only the spirit coin, the host can obtain the inability to fly, and it is just around the corner to dominate the ninja world. The sudden change in the system's tone almost sprained Luo Sha's waist. This Xiao AI is much more advanced than a certain me, and it can even do voice transposition, but it just sounds weird. Xiao AI's voice continued to ring in Luo Sha's mind. 5. Achievement System. The host can obtain corresponding rewards for each achievement they complete. The more difficult the achievement is, the more rewards they will receive. 6. The backpack is a place to store items. It is initially given 10 cubic meters, and the host can spend Pokémon coins to expand it. Finally, the conversion formula between Pokémon coins and current currency: 100 taels equals 1 Pokémon coin. If the host has any questions, he can call Xiao AI at any time. Finally, please give Xiao AI a good review, which will help increase the performance of the Artificial Intelligence Development Department. Looking at the evaluation box that popped up in front of him, Luo Sha clicked 1 star with an expressionless face. I typed in the suggestion box: needs improvement, the machine sound conversion is too stiff, there is no other sound source to choose from, bad review. After happily clicking submit, Luo Sha entered the system main interface. The main interface is very simple, with the classic Pokémon logo in the center, 6 function icons arranged at the bottom of the page, and an envelope in the upper right corner that keeps jumping, making it hard for Luo Sha not to notice it. I opened the envelope and saw a compensation email. The sender was a time travel expert. Luo Sha quickly read the 2,000-word essay and clicked to receive it. It is obvious that the time travel master is a chatterbox, and all 2000 words are nonsense. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining one self-selected quasi-god Pokémon egg, orange, 1 skill disc, orange, 100 self-selected Pokémon foods, and Pokémon coins. It is obvious that the time travel master is an honest person, and his 2000 words are all about his care and love for the younger generation. Where is my novice gift pack? Luo Xia muttered to himself after closing the email. Ding! Congratulations to the host for opening the novice gift package, and you will get 6 Pokeballs, 1 Poke Egg, blue, of your choice, and 1000 Poke coins. After seeing the novice gift package, Luo Xia felt that it was necessary to contact the time travel master frequently, and it would be best if he could contact him every day, so he opened the email and sent it to the time travel master, 199xxxx5660. Foster father, please accept Luo Xia's greeting. Thank you for not abandoning me. I will take care of you in your old age and see you to the end of your life. Bala bala. Luo Xia's thoughts flowed like a spring, and every word and sentence reflected his admiration for his adoptive father. He wrote a short essay of 10,000 words in a very eloquent manner. After Luo Xia clicked send, the school bell rang. Well, what a fulfilling day. Chapter 2, Sand Village, 3rd Generation. Luo Xia, stop daydreaming, it's time to go home from school. Carula's voice came from his ear, interrupting Luo Xia who was still browsing the system. Only Luo Xia can see the system interface, and he can use it just by reciting in his mind, which is very convenient. Well, let's go. I'll take you home. Luo Xia responded. The Sand Village does not have a bloodline family, and in this respect it is similar to the Kumagakure and Iwaigakure, and they are all brothers in distress. The Scorch release that the future Yekara of the Sand Village possesses, the Storm release that appeared in the Kumo village, and the Explosion release of the Iwaigakure village, were not passed down from the bloodline family, but were the result of the ninjas' own fusion of their own talents to form the bloodline limit. However, the Kumagakure village and the Iwaigakure village rank 2nd and 3rd among the 5 major ninja villages, unlike the Sunagakure village which ranks last. At this time, the Sand Village had not yet declined. The 2nd generation ninja of the Sand Village, Seiman, created the magnetic style by studying Shikaku, the One Tail, and through experiments, he enabled many ninjas to possess the bloodline limit of magnetic style. However, the difficulty of awakening the magnetic escape technique is no less than the ice escape technique of the Kirigakure Mizunozuki clan, and only a very small number of people can awaken it successfully. Both magnetic escape and ice escape are difficult to awaken, but once awakened the lower limit is very high. After awakening, he can at least grow into an elite jonin. If he practices step by step, he has a great chance of becoming a cage-level powerhouse. The Sand Aim ascended to the position of Wind Shadow by relying on the skill of magnetic release and ruled over the Kingdom of Wind. As the future 4th generation in the original work, there is no doubt that Rasa can also awaken the magnetic escape technique. Although it is not known when Rasa awakened the magnetic escape technique in the original work, the current Rasa has already awakened the magnetic escape technique and was successfully accepted as an apprentice by the 3rd Hokage. As a time traveler, Luo Xia is naturally different from ordinary children. After learning the characters of this world, Rasa began to learn about ninja at the age of 3. Rasa's biological parents were both senior ninjas in the village. They died in the First Ninja War when Rasa was 1 year old. Kaluo's father, Gadex, was a teammate of Rosa's parents, and could be considered a friend for life and death, so Gadex adopted Rosa. Rasa showed extraordinary intelligence since he was a child and learned to read very quickly. At the age of 3, he was able to read ninja books independently. Seeing that Luo Xia was extremely talented and precocious, Gadex did not stop Luo Xia's behavior. When Rasa tried to extract chakra at the age of 3.5, he unexpectedly awakened the magnetic escape technique, shocking the entire Sand Village. The 3rd Hokage directly accepted Rasa as his apprentice and raised Rasa personally. From then on, Luo Xia lived in the Sandame's house. Gadex had no choice but to accept it, so he often sent Kaluo over to keep Luo Xia company, using the excuse that he had no time to take care of the family. In order to become an angel investor of Rosa, Caltex even gave away his daughter. Children in the ninja world mature precociously. As Rasa is a recognized genius in the Sand Village, Karuna gets along with Rasa every day. Karuna has liked Rasa since childhood and her love-brainedness is comparable to that of Hyuga Hinata. The Sand Clan, to which Carula belongs, is the only family in the Sand Village that possesses secret techniques, which is the sand manipulation technique that Gaara has demonstrated. The Sand Clan is also the largest clan in the Sand Village. There is no bloodline family in the Sand Village, but there are still many ninja families. The difference between the family ninjas of the Sand Village and the civilian ninjas lies in the level of training and ninjutsu, not bloodline. As Gates is the patriarch of the Sand Clan, Carula is naturally the princess of the Sand Clan. Caltex fully supports Luo Sha, not only because of the old friendship between Luo Sha's parents, but also because of the outstanding talent that Luo Sha has demonstrated. The 6-year-old Rasa already has the support of the Sand Aim and the Sand Clan. After sending Carula to the Sand Clan's base from the ninja school, Luosha habitually touched Carula's head and said, "We're here. Go in. Go to bed early tonight. See you tomorrow." "Well, Luosha-kun, see you tomorrow." Carula watched Luosha turn and leave, and said gently. Luo Sha was always thinking about the system, so he was absent-minded all the way. Carula and Rasa are childhood sweethearts, so she naturally felt Rasa's feelings. Therefore, he did not try to keep Luo Sha as usual, but watched Luo Sha leave until his shadow at the corner slowly disappeared from his sight. Luo Sha-kun has been thinking all day. I wonder what he is thinking about. But when Luo Sha-kun is thinking, he is also very handsome. Carula muttered to herself like a fangirl, then turned around and closed the door. Sand Village, the Sand Aim family. Luo Sha walked in, took off his shoes and went into the kitchen. The servants had already prepared the meal, but Shagu was busy with work and often had no time to eat dinner. Luo Sha put the food into the lunch box as usual, and walked towards the Feng Ying building with the lunch box. Shagu and Luosha both had dinner in the Feng Ying building, but there was no kitchen in the Feng Ying building, so Luosha would bring the food to Shagu. Shagu is both a teacher and a father to Luosha. Shagu is often so busy that he forgets to eat, so Luosha can only work harder. The servants delivered lunch to the Feng Ying building on time, and dinner was brought to the Feng Ying building by Luo Sha himself. Luo Sha can also use this to monitor whether Shagu has eaten lunch. If Shagu didn't have lunch, Luosha would ask Shagu to eat dinner and lunch together. Shagu couldn't persuade Luosha. Since he was so busy that he forgot to eat lunch and was discovered by Luosha for the first time, Shagu ate 2 dinners under Luosha's stare with red eyes and a look of tears. "I never forgot to eat lunch again." Luo actor Sha, easy to grasp. The Sandame's original name is unknown. He has been an orphan since childhood. After showing his talent as a ninja, he became a civilian ninja. In order to gain strength, he resolutely participated in the 2nd-generation shaman's magnetic escape experiment and became one of the only 2 successful ones at that time. One is the monk himself, and the other is the Sandame. From then on, Shaman adopted the Sandame, who was renamed Shako and took over the power of Kazekage after Shaman's death. The 3rd-generation Shako works diligently in the position of Kazekage. He is still unmarried and has no children. He treats Rasa as his own son. Although Rasa awakened the magnetic release technique 2.5 years ago, he did not extract chakra to practice at Shaku's request. Shaku strictly forbids Luosha to extract chakra before the age of 5, because it is not conducive to Luosha's future development. So Luosha had a lot of free time in the past 2.5 years to focus on theoretical knowledge. In addition to books such as Ninja Basics and 5 Years of Chunin, 3 Years of Genin, Luosha also specialized in sealing techniques and medical ninjutsu. The sealing techniques of the Sand Village are really poor. Apart from a few C-level and B-level sealing techniques, the only high-level sealing technique is the Phantom 9 Dragons sealing technique, which was specially developed by the 2nd-generation Saiman to seal Shikaku. This sealing technique is in a level ninjutsu, and the restraint on Shikaku is not strong enough, resulting in Shikaku being able to easily affect the one-tailed Jinchuriki. As the biggest victim, Gaara should understand this well. However, the medical ninjutsu of the Sand Village is extremely powerful. At this time, when Tsunade has not yet grown to the peak and established her status as a medical ninja, the 5 major ninja villages do not attach importance to medical ninjutsu. Medical treatments are mostly traditional methods rather than ninjutsu. Because the current situation is that medical ninjutsu is far less effective than traditional medicine on the battlefield. The Sand Village, with its elder Cho developing a bunch of B-level and C-level medical ninjutsu while developing poison techniques, can indeed be called a strong medical village. Rasa knows the future and often praises the effectiveness of medical ninjutsu in front of Shako and paints a rosy picture for Shako. The development of medical ninjutsu can drive a leap in the combat power of the Sand Village and help it become the strongest village. Although Shagu agreed with Luasha's idea, the village had limited funds, and the research of medical ninjutsu and the training of medical ninjas were not put on the agenda. Chapter 3. Selecting a Spirit. Hello, Uncle Ron, Uncle Luozi. Luosha greeted the two Fengying guards familiarly. Hello, Xiao Luosha. The two uncles responded enthusiastically. Luosha comes to the Kazekage building every day and is very familiar with the Kazekage's 8 guards. The guards of the Kazekage all have the strength of a jonin, among them Uncle Ron is the commander of the guards, with the strength of an elite jonin. In fact, the responsibility of protecting the Kazekage belongs to the Umbu, and the responsibility of the 8 Kazekage guards is to guard the Kazekage building. The 8 guards were all seriously injured in the first ninja war, which affected their future ninja careers and made them unsuitable for outdoor missions. The village will naturally make good arrangements for its meritorious officials. Therefore, the village established the position of Kazekage guard and assigned them to this position, which was an easy job with good benefits. You know, the Fengying building has never been attacked since it was built. Unless the Sand Village was breached, how could the Kazekage building be attacked? In short, this is what the top leaders of the Sand Village generally think. Luosha, logically speaking, it seems to be correct. Luosha pushed open the door and walked to Fengying's office door with ease. He knocked 3 times and walked in. Shagu was buried in a pile of documents at this time. He said without looking up, "Wait a moment. I'll finish reading this document and then we'll have dinner." Listening to this fixed line that he heard every day, Luosha walked to the table, looked at the empty lunch box, took it away with satisfaction, and placed the food in his hand on the table one by one. Don't worry, Fengying's desk is big enough to accommodate it. Seeing that Shagu was still reading the document, Luosha called up the system in his mind. Little love. I am here. Open the backpack. Okay, host. 6 poke balls, a skill disc, 100 poke foods, and 2 poke eggs came into view. Luosha first clicked on the blue quality Pokemon egg, and a page box popped up, which was full of Pokemons. Xiao AI, are there any 3 great families? Host, the 3 Pokemon of the starter family are purple quality Pokemon and cannot be selected at this time. Seeing this, Luosha had no choice but to give up. The Sand Village is located in the desert. Rasa originally wanted to choose the 3 fire-type pets, with Charmander being the first option. The reason is simple, having 2 megaforms of Charizard is truly amazing. Being in the Sand Village, many Pokemons with different attributes had to be abandoned. Although there are oases in the desert, there is an oasis right behind the Sand Village, which is where Eldercho often swims and fishes. However, in the desert, choosing a rock-type, ground-type, fire-type Pokemon that is suitable for growing in the desert can maximize the benefits. But what also needs to be considered is whether the Pokemons can still exert their due combat power in other terrains outside the desert. For this reason, Rosa, who was a Pokemon fan in his previous life, had already thought of a countermeasure. Sandstorm Team. The Sandstorm Team is mainly composed of rock, steel, and ground types. For Luosha, these 3 types of Pokemon have one thing in common, which is that they are easy to keep alive. In this vast desert, you can eat soil directly. The main focus is saving money, being cheap and low cost. As for Bangala, he may eat up a few mines or something. But Luosha has mines at home. Could it be possible that Bangala could eat up the Sand Village into bankruptcy? Although the Sand Village is poor, it has many mines, but they are difficult to mine. The whole village is waiting for the future Luo gold miner Sand to mine and support the village. Luosha checked the rock, ground, and steel types on the attribute options on the page without hesitation, clicked confirm, and one Pokemon after another passed by his eyes. Guadud, Ammonite, Rhinoceros, Lava Snail. Luosha quickly paddled to the huge rock monster. That's right, this is Luosha's first choice. Powerful Pokemon such as Steelix, Pteranodon, and Boscodora are all of purple quality, so you can only give up with regret. In blue quality, Pang Yangwei is not only an indispensable weather player for the Sandstorm team, but also very powerful in itself. There are only 3 Pokemons with the characteristics of Yangsha, Banjira, Hippomon, and Pangean. Banjira is of orange quality, Hippomon is of purple quality, and Pangolin is the only blue quality Pokémon that Luoxia can choose. With 135 physical attack and 130 physical defense, Pangolier is an extreme physical attack player and more practical than many purple quality Pokémon. Luoxia clicked on the giant rock monster. The characteristic could be selected as strong or sand raising. Luoxia directly clicked on the sand raising one with his mind, and then clicked to confirm the receipt. Blowing sand, when it appears, the weather will turn into a sandstorm. Reality is not a game, and the Pokémons do not change the weather every time they appear. Whether the weather turns into a sandstorm is controllable. That is to say, in battle, Pangean monster can activate the sand raising feature to change the weather at any time, but in daily training, it does not need to activate the feature. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Ishiwanza Pokémon egg. The Pokémon egg has been placed in the Pokémon backpack and can be hatched after being taken out. He was still in the Kazekage's office, so Luoxia didn't take it out, but clicked on the Quasi-God's Choice Pokémon egg, orange. Luoxia directly chose Banjira, and his characteristic was Sand Hidden. Sand Hide, in sandstorm weather, the dodge rate is increased. In reality, it is very difficult to dodge with Bangala's pitiful speed. Therefore, the real purpose of the sand hiding characteristic is to make the enemy unable to see Banjira's figure clearly, and Banjira can appear and disappear in the sandstorm. Luoxia clicked to confirm receipt. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Ujira Pokémon egg. The Pokémon egg has been placed in the Pokémon backpack and can be hatched after it is taken out. Luoxia chose rock type for all 100 portions of Pokémon food, and then exited the system. Luoxia glanced at Shagu, wondering why he hadn't finished reading this document yet. Shagu seemed to have sensed something, put down his pen, and looked back at Luoxia with some embarrassment. Because while Luoxia was checking the system, Shagu accidentally looked at 2 more documents. Ahem, let's eat. Shagu picked up the food on the table as if nothing had happened and started eating. The main point is to work at lightning speed. After all, eating is a waste of time, and there are so many documents that I haven't finished reading. Well, I just read only one document, which is the complaint letter from Aunt Wang next door. Aunt Wang commissioned a team of genin to find a lost fat chicken, but she didn't expect that the chicken's disappearance was related to the team. There is a foodie genin in the team named Xiao He. Xiao He was walking on the road and saw a fat chicken jumping past him with a cluck 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 sound. The cute figure made Xiao He shed tears at the corners of his mouth. The poor fat chicken was jumping around on the street, and it was obvious that it was lost. So in order to relieve the fat chicken from its suffering, Xiao He caught the fat chicken and roasted it to eat with wine. Later, the truth came out. Aunt Wang wrote a 1000-word letter of complaint with fierce words, every word of which was so heartbreaking that Shagu shook his head after reading it. After all, that is the best egg-laying chicken in Aunt Wang's chicken coop. After careful consideration, Shagu made the genin pay 2.5 times the price of the chicken. I went to eat after reading this letter of complaint, and didn't read the next letter of proposal from Widow Jin. I have to say that Widow Jin is quite talented in writing. Besides, I work so hard for the rise of Sunagakure. As the Kazekage, I work 996 and strive hard just to firmly oppose 007. Is 007 a job that humans can do? Seeing the somewhat unnatural expression on Shagu's face, Luoxia naturally knew the truth. Lao Deng, we are just friends, and you're still acting with me. He must have read the letter from some beautiful aunt. As a golden bachelor, Shagu is in his prime and holds a high position. He is the target of covetousness of all the older single women, widows and even some married ladies in the Sand Village. However, due to his childhood experiences, Luoxia knew that Shagu had sealed his heart and locked away his love. Every April 9th, Shagu would take Luoxia to the grave of his first wife. Luoxia could more or less guess what Shagu had experienced in the past. Luoxia picked up the bowl and chopsticks, sat opposite Shagu and started to eat, his mind wandering as he ate. Bang! I'm done eating. Shagu put down the bowl and quickly returned to his seat to look at the documents. Luoxia sighed helplessly. After finishing his meal, he cleaned the table, picked up the food box and prepared to go home to hatch the Pokémons. Pokémon will be the biggest feature and even the trump card of the Sand Village in the future. Luoxia has no plans to introduce it to Shagu yet. It is only after Shago sees the value of Pokemon that Luosha will propose to Shago that the Sand Village should vigorously develop the profession of trainer. Just like how the second-generation shaman developed the puppeteer. Make the Sand Village great again. Chapter 4, Kira, Ishimaru. Sand Village, the Sandame's Manor. Little love. I am here. Take out 2 Pokemon eggs. Ding, the Pokemon egg has been taken out. Luosha looked at the 2 Pokemon eggs in front of him, which were placed steadily in the Pokemon incubation device. The Pokemon eggs all have a white background, one of the Pokemon eggs is dotted with light brown circles on its surface, and the other Pokemon egg has circles of dark brown ripples. Luosha opened an Pokemon device and carefully took out an Pokemon egg with light brown patterns. The Pokemon egg trembled slightly in Luosha's hand. The trembling was very subtle, but Luosha could clearly feel the little guy's vigorous vitality. As time went on, the shaking became more and more obvious, and the egg began to emit a faint light. At first, the light was like the first ray of dawn, soft and weak. But gradually, the light became brighter and brighter, and the light gradually spread, illuminating Luosha's palm and the room. However, the light was not dazzling. Luosha widened his eyes and stared at the Pokemon egg in his hand, his heart full of anticipation and nervousness. He vaguely felt a powerful energy gathering in the egg. Suddenly, a crack appeared on the surface of the egg, and then the crack quickly spread. In a dazzling light, a small and mysterious Pokemon poked its head out of the egg. It's Yukara. Its body is mainly grey, with a red diamond pattern on its belly. Its round body is matched with short hands and tail, and a thick little pointed horn on its head. Ugly, cute, ugly. Yukara seemed unable to adapt to the sudden light. She opened and closed her eyes, rubbed them with her short hands, and then opened them again, looking curiously at Luosha in front of her. Its mouth was slightly open, as if it wanted to make a sound but was not quite sure how. Yuki. The newborn Yukara baby tried to call out with a baby voice. There was 3 parts of surprise, 2 parts of curiosity and 5 parts of fondness in Luosha's eyes, and he couldn't help but pinch the little horn on Yukara's head. Soft. The little horns will not become hard until they have passed the larval stage. Luosha couldn't help but pinch Yukira's 2 short little hands again. Kira let Rosa do whatever he wanted to him, spread out his arms, as if asking for a hug, and stared at Rosa with tears in his eyes. Yuki. Luosha, who had been a single dog for 26 years in his past and present life, was overwhelmed with fatherly love. He immediately hugged the baby in his arms and felt extremely relieved. Yukara weighs a whopping 72 kilograms. Luosha guessed that it might be because Kira had not started to chew the ore yet, so it was so light. It turns out that children still need to be raised in wealth, otherwise they will be less hungry. Yukara stayed quietly in Luosha's arms for a while, rubbed Luosha's clothes on his chest gently, then broke away from Luosha's arms and started to chew the eggshell. Seeing this, Luosha checked Kira's data. Name Yukara. Gender male. Attribute rock, ground. Features sand hidden. Level LV1. Individual 6V, HP 31, Attack 31, Defense 31, Special Attack 31, Special Defense 31, Speed 31. Skills Impact, Stare, Dragon Dance, Inherited. Hiss. Luosha took a breath of cold air. A quasi-god with full personal value is definitely an existence that is rare to appear in 100 years. What's even more outrageous is that Kira inherited the Dragon Dance. Acquiring the skill through inheritance, this is the only chance for the Banjira clan to learn the Dragon Dance. Even with the Dragon Dance skill disc, Bangala cannot learn the Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance can increase physical attack and speed. After stacking 6 layers of Dragon Dance, Bangala becomes unimaginably terrifying. It was killed in 1 move. What else is there to say? Imagining this beautiful future scene, Luosha couldn't help but smile like a pervert. Practice, practice hard. Luosha has already made a training plan for Kira after he passes his larval stage, and he must grow up as quickly as possible. Yukara is chewing on an eggshell. Why do I feel so chilly? After Yukara was full, he began to feel sleepy. Luosha spent 20 Pokemon coins to buy a luxury ball in the system mall and put Yukara in it. The luxury ball is designed to provide a comfortable living environment. For Luosha, who has the mentality of an old father, he can never let his eldest son down even if someone else suffers. If an ordinary Pokeball is like a room, then a luxury Pokeball is like a villa. After taming Yukara, Luosha put the Pokeball on his waist and picked up another Pokémon egg from the incubator. The Pokémon egg also began to shake and glow. After waiting for 5 minutes, a click sound was heard. Ishiwanza poked his head out of the egg. The stone ball looks like a stone, and each face is made up of symmetrical hexagons. The hexagon in the center is Shiwanzi's eye. Shiwanzi has only one eye. Ishiwanzi opened his eyes and stared at Luosha in front of him, his body motionless. Luosha picked it up. Unlike Kira, Ishiganko was hard from birth. After all, it was a mantle Pokémon and its whole body was made of mineral matter. Shiwanzi shook his body in Luosha's arms, let out a slight wow, and tried to break free from Luosha's arms to eat the eggshells. Luosha naturally put it down and watched Ishiwanzi chewing the eggshell slowly, which was very different from the way Kira ate like a starving ghost just now. It can be seen that Ishiwanzi's personality should be more stable. Luosha opened Ishiwanzi's Pokémon panel. Name Ishi Mariko. Gender female. Attribute rock. Characteristics sand blowing. Level LV1. Individual 4V, HP 31, Attack 31, Defense 31, Special Attack 1, Special Defense 31, Speed 15. Skills sand throwing, collision, wide area defense, inherited. Hiss. Another inhalation sound was heard. Excellent. Xiao Ai. Luosha immediately called out to classmate Xiao Ai. I am here. What's going on? Both Pokémons are so tall. Ding, the individual value threshold of the Pokémon eggs obtained through the system is between 3V and 6V. No wonder the Pokémon eggs in the mall are so expensive. This is much more reasonable. If the Pokémon produced by the system are the same as wild Pokémon, then when Luosha exchanges the Pokémon habitat in the future, Luosha can catch Pokémon in the wild. Why would you be that resentful person who goes to the Pokémon mall to buy Pokémon eggs and get ripped off by the system? Well, in terms of probability, for most Pokémons, 0% of the Pokémons have a 1V value, 2 in RV, and in RV. By analogy, there is only one 6V Pokémon in a million. 6V Pokémons are the natural kings of a race. For white-quality Pokémon such as Beedrill and Butterfree, the probability of appearing at 6V is even lower, probably as low as 1 in a billion. For orange-quality Pokémon like Banjura and Dragonite, the probability of appearing at 6V is even higher, about 1 in 10,000. However, in terms of time, whether it's Beedrill, Pidgeot, the starter Pokémon, or even the Quasi-God races, a 6V Pokémon will be born only once 100 years. This is because white-quality Pokémon have extremely strong reproduction abilities, while powerful Pokémon such as Quasi-Gods have very weak reproduction abilities. In 100 years, Beedrill can reproduce hundreds of millions, while Dragonite may not be able to reproduce more than 10,000. So this world is both fair and unfair. A 6V Lotta may not be as good as a decadent 6V Quasi-God even if he tries his best to train, and may even be no match for a 5V Quasi-God. With Xiao Ai, Luosha has the confidence to blow the wind of change, starting from Sand Village, conquer the ninja world and change the world. Chapter 5. Achievements, Lottery, Habitat. After Luosha put the full and sleepy Shiwanzi into the luxury ball, his mind sank into the system. Luosha first put Yujira and Shiwanzi into the bond position. Both of them are now level 1 and can't bring any bonus to Luosha. However, seeing that 2 seats in the bond position had already been occupied by Pokémons, Luosha felt a sense of satisfaction in his heart. The achievement icon on the system homepage was glowing, so Luosha clicked on it. 3 achievements have already been lit up: Novice Trainer, Quasi-God Trainer, and the Birth of the King. Novice Trainer owns the first Pokémon in the trainer career. Reward: Pokémon Coin 100. Quasi-God Trainer own a Quasi-God. Reward: 61% off coupon for goods. The Birth of a King own a 6V Pokémon. Rewards: 1 Mega Evolution Stone of your choice, 1 Keystone. Luosha received the reward and directly chose the Banjura Mega Evolution Stone. Then, Luosha clicked on the lottery interface. Since obtaining the system, Luosha has never used the lottery function. Luosha knew that due to his unlucky nature, he could only get the red reward as a minimum, so Luosha's goal had always been set on the orange reward. Especially the habitat, which allows Pokémon to be born in the area within the range. The prices of habitats in the Pokémon Mall were high. Even the lowest quality green habitat cost 10 Pokémon coins, equivalent to million taels. The Pokémon coins that Luo Xia has now are not enough to buy this expensive luxury. Therefore, Luo Xia prefers lotteries. Bet. All in. If the Xingkai Lake habitat, orange, and Lizzie Lake habitat, orange, were to be taken out, Luoxia would take off in one fell swoop. I'll just do 10 consecutive draws to test the waters. Luoxia rubbed his hands and clicked on the 10 consecutive draws with his mind. The big turntable in front of me was spinning rapidly, and rays of light were flying out from it. White, 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 white. Blue. 9 white and 1 blue appeared in front of Luoxia. Could it be that my luck has changed and I have become the Emperor of Luck? Luoxia collected the 10 balls of light in front of him and checked them one by one. 4 Poke Balls, 2 Ultra Balls, 2 Medicine Potions, 1 Antidote, and 1 Blue Quality Pokémon Egg. Luoxia clicks to view the information of the Pokémon Egg. Huhu Pokémon Egg, Blue. Although Huhu is also a Rock-type Pokémon, he is not included in Luoxia's planned team. However, Huhu is still a good auxiliary player. Huhu can learn 2 skills, Defense Split and Power Split. Use Defense Divide on friendly Pokémon and Strength Divide on enemies. In addition, the Gastric Juice skill can eliminate the characteristics of enemy Pokémon, which will definitely break the mentality of many people. Elf skills are effective against ninjas, so Huhu will be the nemesis of all physical cultivators. Pokémon battles in the real world do not follow the 1vs1 format, group fights are possible. However, the role of the pot is much more than that. Luoxia suddenly had an idea and immediately thought of another function of the pot. The pot can be used to squeeze juice. Place the berries in the shell of the jug and they will dissolve into juice. This is a huge business opportunity. You know, in a desert environment like the Kingdom of Wind, it is a luxury to be able to drink fruit juice. The fruit in the system store is used by Pokémons to eat. 4 Pokémon coins are used to buy 10 of them. This is equivalent to 40 taels per fruit. It's not too much to sell a cup of juice for 80 taels, right? Moreover, the juice fermented in Huhu is pure natural and more delicious. Luoxia is confident that the juice produced in Huhu will be popular among people. Luoxia stared at the Huhu Pokémon Egg in front of him, his eyes flashing with golden light, and his eyes had turned into symbols of money, as if he saw stacks of thick banknotes flying towards him. Not only Pot, there are other Pokémon that are suitable for business. Luoxia decided to make a good plan and create a Pokémon economy in the ninja world. Elf coins need to be recharged with ninja currency, and Luoxia was worried about making money before. At the age of 6, Luoxia's magnetic escape technique is not yet good enough for mining, so the path of a gold miner is temporarily out of the question. As for the ninja, how much money can the ninja make? The commissions they earn are not enough to fill the gaps between Kira's teeth. Huhu's arrival allowed Luoxia to see a way to get rich and strengthen the country and the village. I got a blue quality item in my first 10 pull draw. It turns out that destiny is on my side. Luo's Hides Himansha immediately clicked on the 10 draw combo again. 10 light balls, 9 white and 1 green, appeared before my eyes. Luoxia, no, come again. Brush brush brush. Come again. Brush brush brush. Another 8 consecutive times of 9 white and 1 green, Luoxia's face had become the same color as the green light ball. It's been 9 white and 1 green for 9 times, and I'm going to get the blue as a guaranteed bottom line. RNM, give me back the money. Luoxia clicked the 10 pull button with trembling hands, and balls of light flashed out from the turntable. Not surprisingly, 8 white, 1 green, and 1 blue. Luoxia has spent 9,900 Pokémon coins, and has a remaining balance of 1,100 Pokémon coins. Luoxia stopped there and started checking all the prizes. After 100 draws, you will get a total of 89 white, 10 green, and 1 blue. White quality includes poke balls such as normal balls, advanced balls, luxury balls, and healing balls, potions such as wound medicine, antidote medicine, and burn medicine, as well as Pokémon products such as Moo Moo Milk, Vitality Fragments, Vitality Blocks, and energy supplements. The blue quality one is a scroll, and it turns out to be the Pokémon Habitat. Pokémon Habitat, blue. After setting up a habitat, Pokémon will survive within 1,000 square kilometers of land and form a complete ecological chain. Luoxia danced with excitement. It turned out that I am not a poor guy. Although I didn't get the purple one, I got the habitat, so it was a big profit. Luo Xia clicked on the map and his eyes fell on the area of the Kingdom of Wind. Densely packed signs that could be transformed into Pokémon habitats appeared before his eyes. Most of these transformable habitats are deserts, sand dunes, rocks, mines, caves and other terrains, and a small number are oases. The finances of the Sand Village are tight. The Jonin and family ninjas can afford the cost of Pokémon food, but the civilian ninjas, who make up more than half of the village, cannot afford it. Therefore, Pokémon that can survive by eating soil are Luoxia's first choice for popularizing Pokémon in the Sand Village. The highest quality Pokémon born in the blue habitat is blue, so the purple quality Onyx is not within Luoxia's consideration. Therefore, Radon, Diglett, Cradle Lily, and Giant Rock Monster are undoubtedly the first choices. Cradle Lilies can take root and survive through photosynthesis, while the other three Pokémons are good at eating soil and minerals. Luoxia chose a desert area with a small oasis, the presence of which might increase species diversity in the habitat. The total area of the habitat is 1,000 square kilometers, and it is about 50 kilometers away from the Sand Village. Therefore, it is possible to see Pokémons if you go straight about 17 kilometers from the Sand Village to the habitat. Luo Xia clicked on the habitat scroll to use it, and the scroll turned into a golden light and disappeared. At this moment, a sudden natural energy riot occurred in the west of the Wind Kingdom. Tens of thousands of Pokémons, new desert plants, and new underground minerals appeared in the ninja world at this moment. However, the area is sparsely populated and no one has noticed this phenomenon. Moreover, apart from practicing the existence of natural energy, ninjas cannot sense this energy riot. Therefore, the first Pokémon habitat in the ninja world was completed without anyone noticing. Luo Xia named it Blue Habitat No. 1 Moses Habitat. A blue light dot lights up on the map, and Luo Xia can check the situation of Moses Habitat. Moses Habitat, Blue Radon Tribe, Sand/Tribe, Diglett Tribe, Cradle Lily Tribe, Giant Rock Tribe, Charmeleon Tribe, Nidoking Tribe, Nidoqueen Tribe. The number of Pokémons living in the Moses habitat was beyond Luo Xia's expectations, and there were many powerful Pokémons. Charizard, Cradle Lily, Nidoking, and Nidoqueen live together in oasis areas. It is probably because of the oasis that they appear in the Moses habitat. There are many Pokémons that are very suitable for the current Sand Village, and Luo Xia immediately began planning. Chapter 6. Recharge, Talk. Nidoking and Nidoqueen are ground and poison type Pokémon, very suitable for puppeteers. The puppet master is fragile and can use poison. Nidoking and Nidoqueen can not only act as the puppet master's meat shield but also strengthen the puppet master's poison. More importantly, Nidoking and Nidoqueen need Pokémon food, and they cannot survive by eating dirt. The puppet master is rich. These are all Luo Xia's future big customers. Other Pokémon with low training costs, such as Radon, are suitable for civilian ninjas. The Charizard can be used as a powerful Pokémon in battle, and can also be used as a camel for transportation on the trade route of the Sand Village. The carrying capacity of the fire-breathing camel is many times greater than that of an ordinary camel. It can effectively increase freight volume and improve the economic income of the Sand Village. After making good plans for the Pokémons, Luo Xia exited the system in his mind. Luo Xia walked to the desk and opened the bottom drawer. With a slight creak sound, the drawer was fully opened, revealing a small box. The box contained his parents' inheritance and the living expenses that Luo Xia had saved. Both Caltex and Shaga were very fond of Luo Xia and gave him a lot of living expenses. Luo Xia opened the box, and inside was a stack of banknotes and 2 land deeds neatly arranged. One deed is for Luo Xia's original home, and the other is for a store, which has now been rented out under the agency of Caltex. Luo Xia reached out and took out the stack of banknotes, which amounted to 1.21 million taels. Xiao AI, recharge. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the Pokémon coin. Luo Xia looked at the balance and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but rise. Luo Xia entered the Pokémon Mall and spent 120 Pokémon coins to buy 10 bottles of Moo Moo milk, enough for the 2 little ones for a month. Now Kira and Ishiwanzi are still in their larval stage, and drinking Moo Moo milk can speed up their growth. In addition, Luo Xia spent 2,000 Pokémon coins to buy 2 Pokémon breeding guides. These 2 thick books detailed the breeding methods of Kira and Ishiwanko. The remaining balance is 9,080 Pokémon coins. Finally, Luo Xia opened his backpack and took out the Hu Pokémon egg. After 5 minutes, Hu successfully broke out of the shell. The body of the pot is round, similar to a teapot, and its main body is red with white spots on it. The surface of the pot's body looks like it is made of rock or soil, giving it a sense of solidity and durability. Hu has a slender head with 2 small black eyes and a tiny mouth. Name Hu. Gender female. Attributes rock, insect. Features sturdy. Level LV1. Individual 3V, HP 31, Attack 17, Defense 31, Special Attack 7, Special Defense 31, Speed 24. Skills retract into shell, sweet aroma, inherited, help, inherited. It fits the positioning of the auxiliary hand given by Luo Xia very well, and can help improve the attack power of teammates. When Hu's level increases in the future, he will be able to learn power sharing, defense sharing, and gastric juice, and he will definitely be the best in assisting. Just like the supports who buy houses in the ban position in a certain mobile game. However, Hu did not buy a house in the ban position, so Luoxia could be released unscrupulously to annoy the opponent. After Hu finished eating the eggshell, Luo Xia and Hu were affectionate for a while, and then put it into the luxurious ball. After Luo Xia put away the pot, he refined the chakra for 2 hours. Luo Xia has been refining chakra for a year. Because he was still young, he only practiced chakra for 2 hours a day, and spent the rest of the time practicing hand seals and various ninjutsu. Luo Xia possesses 4 types of chakras, Feng, Shui, Earth, and Yin. The Sand Village is best at the 2 aspects of Wind and Earth ninjutsu, and Rasa is now also majoring in Wind and Earth attributes. Rasa now has the chakra reserves of a genin, and has already learned C-level ninjutsu Earth Flow Wall, Earth Dragon Bullet, Wind Blade, D-level ninjutsu Body Flickering Jutsu, and E-level ninjutsu Substitution Jutsu, Clone Jutsu, and Transformation Jutsu. 2 hours later, with a slight click sound, the door was slowly pushed open. A tall man walked into the house. "Master, you're back." Luo Xia also stopped practicing, and when he saw Shagu returning home, he immediately went to greet him. With the birth of Hu, Luo Xia couldn't wait to open a Hu juice shop to make money. This requires the support of Shagu to be implemented. Luo Xia is only 6 years old now and is not suitable to be on stage. Therefore, Luo Xia has already thought of the wording to make the appearance of Pokémon reasonable. "Master, do you know the Holy Land of Spiritual Communication?" The Spiritual Holy Land is recorded in the books in the Sand Village. My summoning beast Zinnia comes from the Spiritual Holy Land Ryakai Cave. There are 2 other Spiritual Holy Lands, Mayaboku Mountain and Wetbone Forest. Why are you asking this? Shagu asked back. Zinnia was subdued by Shagu after he became a cage-level warrior. Although Zinnia came from Longdi Cave, Shagu did not practice the magic of Longdi Cave. Because Shagu is the Wind Shadow, once Shagu dies while practicing immortal arts, the Sand Village is likely to usher in its darkest hour. Well, I rescued a wounded spiritual beast a few days ago. Later, it was willing to sign a spiritual contract with me and took me to the Spiritual Holy Land, the Spirit World. The Pokémon world is a hidden Spiritual Holy Land, and I am now the only contractor in the Pokémon world. The Pokémon world is also very large, with more than 1 spiritual beast tribe. Although I have never been to the Dragon Cave, the Pokémon world must be countless times larger than the Dragon Cave. Luo Xia seriously told the whole story that he had prepared. Really? This is great. Quickly release the summoned beast and let me see it. Hearing Luo Xia's words, Shagu was surprised. The only summoning beast tribe in the Sand Village now is the Kama Itaki. If there are many tribes in the spirit world, then we can use Rasa as a link and try to get more ninjas to sign summoning beasts. Come out, Yukara, Ishimaru, and Tsubomi. Luo Xia took out the pokeball hanging around his waist and released the 3 little ones. Yuki. Yukara threw herself into Luoxia's arms as soon as she appeared. Shiwenza stood in place, opened his big hexagonal eyes, and looked at Luoxia in confusion. Who was a little shy. After appearing, he looked around. After seeing Shagu, he crawled to Luo Xia's feet and retracted into his shell. Luo Xia held Yukara in his left hand, squatted down and picked up Hu, and after carrying the 2 little ones to the sofa, he also carried Ishiwenza next to them. Sit down nicely and come meet my master, Shagu. We'll be a family after we get to know each other. And Huhu, stick your head out. Luo Sha said helplessly, looking at Huhu with his eyes outside his shell. Hu, the well-behaved Huhu obediently stretched his head out, turned around and greeted Shagu timidly. Master, the one on the left is Huhu, the one in the middle is Yukara, and the one on the right is Ishiwanko. Luo Sha introduced the three little ones to Shagu. They are indeed very spiritual, but they don't seem to be very strong. Shagu was amazed, but looking at the size of the three little ones, they were indeed a little small. Master, they are still cubs. Don't underestimate them. They can become powerful cage-level warriors in the future. In this era, the cage level is recognized as the most powerful existence and is a small group of people standing at the top of the world. Cage level? Are all three of them okay? Shagu looked at the three little ones sitting obediently on the sofa in shock. Yuki raised her head proudly. Shiwenza looked back at Shagu motionlessly. If it weren't for his big eyes, he would be just like a stone. Huhu was still timid. When he saw Shagu's gaze turning towards him, he secretly shrank his head a little into his shell. Chapter 7. Support, Father and Son. Yes, I am sure. Their talents are the most outstanding in their respective groups. The spirit world is extremely large, with at least several hundred spirit beast tribes. Among them, there are many shadow-level spirit beasts, and even those above the shadow level. The spirit world is far more powerful than the three holy places we know. The Pokémon realm is not so much a spiritual holy land as it is a world. A world where only Pokémons live and belongs only to Pokémons. The Pokémon realm has been closed since ancient times and has almost no contact with the outside world. Therefore, there are no legends about them in the outside world, and no records have been left behind. The passage to the spirit world is closed. Without the approval of the spirits, one cannot enter the spirit world. Now, I am the only contractor in the spirit world in 1,000 years. Luo Sha just made up a lie with his eyes open to scare Shagu. Shagu looked at Luo Sha steadily, digesting the information in Luo Sha's words. So, all three of them can become cage-level warriors in the future. And you can also contract more summoning beasts, right? Shagu was so excited that his voice began to tremble. Yes, Master. Cage level is just a guarantee. They will definitely grow to a level stronger than Cage, just like Uchiha Madara and Senjo Hashirama in the past. Shagu was silent for a moment and chose to believe. If it wasn't Rasa, but someone else who said in front of Shagu that these three summoned beasts would reach the level of Senjo Hashirama in the future, Shagu would just think he was a liar. Shagu is willing to trust Luo Sha because he knows Luo Sha well. Master, even though I am the only one who has made a contract in the spirit world, it does not mean that others cannot obtain spirits. The spirit world has been closed for 1,000 years, and will gradually enter the ninja world. The spirits all advocate peace, and their appearance will not destroy the ninja world, and may even bring benefits to it. As the only one who can enter and exit the fairy world, they chose me as their agent. Luo Sha continued to speak out the speech he had prepared in advance. You mean, other ninjas can also contract spirits? Shagu immediately grasped the key point of Luo Sha's words. Yes, Pokémons are different from the summoning beasts we know. Signing a contract with them requires a medium, which is the Pokémon Ball. Master, you noticed the way I summoned them just now, this is the Poke Ball. Luo Sha raised the Poke Ball in his hand and shook it. The Poke Ball can hold Pokémons in the ball and release them when they are needed for battle. It is much more convenient than the psychic contract, but it also requires the trainer to take care of the Pokémon's daily life. There can only be one trainer for a Pokémon at a time, but a trainer can have multiple Pokémon at the same time. A trainer is the title of someone who tames Pokémons. Pokeballs are made from materials produced in the spirit world, and are not available in the outside world. As the only person who can freely enter and exit the spirit world, it is my mission to bring Pokeballs to the ninja world. Luo Sha continued to explain. The resources of the Pokeballs are in your hands, so in order to sign a contract with the Pokémon, I must first obtain the Pokeballs from you, right? Shagu has already realized that this is an opportunity for the Sand Village to rise. Yes, so the Sand Village will be the first to obtain the power of the Pokémons and become more powerful. But I am only 6 years old now, and I can't do many things. Master, I need your help. Luo Sha seeks support from Shagu. No problem. How do we do it? How many Pokeballs do you have now? I will distribute them to you when the time comes. Shagu is happy to see the Sand Village become stronger. In fact, the Pokeball is secondary. The main thing is the trainer. A good trainer can train a Pokemon with low talent to the level of Shadow, while a bad trainer can ruin a Pokemon with outstanding talent. Trainers take care of the Pokemons, so they need Pokemon food. If the Pokemons are injured, they need potions produced by the Pokemon world. There are also different training methods for different Pokemons, and so on. Trainer is a profession that requires a supporting industrial system. I now have 50 Pokeballs in my hand, which can all be distributed by the village. But for the corresponding Pokemon items, we need to open an Pokemon shop in the village to serve the Pokemons. Luo Xie revealed his plan in detail. But ninjas know nothing about Pokemons. If we let them know that it costs money to train Pokemons, I'm afraid that few people would be willing to become trainers. After some deep thought, Shagu expressed his concerns. Yes, so Master, your role as the third Kazekage has been reflected. Luo Xia jumped into Shagu's arms and said coquettishly. Luo Xia thought to himself, I am only 6 years old, it is not shameful to act like a spoiled child. For the sake of the kingship, I will fight. Oh? The third Kazekage is happy to serve Rasa, but how do you want me to do it? Seeing that the usually calm Luo Xia rarely showed the childishness that should be present at this age, Shagu smiled and picked up Luo Xia and joked. Master, some Pokemons have appeared. We can see them 20 miles west of the village. Master, as the third Kazekage, you should subdue the strongest Pokemon there and publicly let a Jonin compete with it in the village, then everyone will see the value of the Pokemon. Luo Xia responded while sitting on Shagu's lap. That's feasible. Does that Pokemon have the strength of a Jonin? Shagu asked doubtfully. Yes. I am sure that it is a fire-breathing camel, and its strength has reached the level of an elite Jonin. The system map can be used to view information about the Pokemons in the habitat. Luo Xia has checked it before and found that the strongest creature in the Moses habitat is a fire-breathing camel. Although the fire camel only has a racial value of 460 and a green quality, the fact that it can grow into an elite Jonin is enough to show how talented it is. Besides, the Charizard can Mega Evolve. Even if it cannot defeat a cage-level warrior after Mega Evolution, it can still hold back a cage-level warrior for a short period of time. Elite Jonin. Okay, let me finish my business tomorrow and set off the day after tomorrow. Shagu was already excited when he heard about the elite Jonin. Shagu's summoned beast Shania also has the strength of an elite Jonin. Coupled with its huge size, it is also among the top elite Jonin. But no one would complain about having too many spiritual beasts, let alone a spiritual beast that can follow you closely. Master, I want to go with you and be your guide. Otherwise, you may not be able to find it. Well, okay, but you have to promise not to leave my side. Shagu frowned, hesitated for a moment, then nodded in agreement. No problem. Luo Xia hugged Shagu and felt the concern in Shagu's words, and felt warm in his heart. It was rare for Shagu to see Luo Xia getting close to him, so he couldn't help but smile. Shagu couldn't help but think back to the first time Luo Xia came to Feng Ying's office a year ago. The 25th year of Sunagakure, December 3th. Auntie Wang, please give me the lunch box. I will deliver it to Master today. Luo Xia took the lunch box from Auntie Wang. Okay, but let me carry it. I'll help you carry it to the Feng Ying building. Aunt Wang suggested, worried that Luo Xia was too tired from the journey. Okay, let's go together. Aunt Wang was a servant in the family. Her husband died in the First Ninja War, leaving behind an orphan and a widow with her 6-year-old son. Her husband was a gambler and left little inheritance. Aunt Wang's husband was Shagu's subordinate during First Ninja War. Shagu helped Aunt Wang. Aunt Wang was grateful to Shagu, so she came to Shagu's house every day to clean and do housework. After Shagu became the third generation, Shagu invited Aunt Wang to be the maid in the house. After bringing Luo Xia home, Shagu entrusted Luo Xia to Aunt Wang's care when she was not at home. Although Luo Xia is already an adult mentally, he does not need care. But as they got along, Luo Xia gradually accepted Aunt Wang, who treated him sincerely. Kazekage building, Kazekage office. Come in. Shagu said without raising his head when he heard the knock on the door. The door opened, Shagu glanced over, and Luo Sha's small figure came into view. Shagu immediately put down his pen, stood up from the chair, walked towards Luosha, took the food box, and picked up Luosha. "Why are you here, Luosha? Did you deliver the food by yourself? Did you encounter any difficulties? Tell the master and the master will help you solve it." Shagu sat back in the chair, hugged Luosha and put him on his lap. The Umbu on duty found it hard to imagine that the usually serious Kazekage-sama could have such a gentle expression on his face. "I came here with Aunt Wang. I didn't encounter any difficulties. I just wanted master to go home early today, so I came to find you." Luosha, who was just 5 years old, responded obediently. "Oh? Master, please finish reading this document and go home with Luosha, okay?" When Shagu heard Luosha's words, he immediately softened his heart. "Well, I brought the meal. Let's eat first." Shagu looked at Luosha, then at the documents in his hand, and finally compromised. "Master, didn't you have lunch?" Luosha looked at another lunch box on the table. Even the tableware was unused, obviously he had not eaten at noon. "Ah, the village discovered an iron mine in the northern part of the Wind Kingdom yesterday. I was busy these 2 days and forgot to eat." Shagu explained. Seeing this, Luosha sighed and started to talkative mode. Shagu was confused the whole time. It was the first time he saw Luosha being so talkative. There was still no reaction on Shagu's face, and it was obvious that he still didn't realize his mistake. Luosha gradually closed his mouth and stared at Shagu. Luosha decided to use his ultimate move. "Luosha, hold your breath, and hold your breath again." Luo eyes red fair and cute Sha looked at Shagu, looking like he was about to cry. Shagu immediately panicked and started to comfort Luosha. Only after Shagu admitted his mistake and promised not to make it again, Luosha immediately hugged Shagu and buried his head in Shagu's shoulder. "Luosha, I can't hold back my laughter any longer." Dinner ended after 2 meals at Shagu. After that, Shagu no longer cared about the documents on the table. Instead, he put on the Feng Ying hat, and put the small hat that he had someone custom made on Luosha's head. He carried Luosha on his back and strolled in the village. March 3th was Luosha's birthday. Of course Shagu remembered that even if Luosha didn't come, Shagu would go home as soon as possible. He would walk home wearing the Feng Ying bamboo hat and holding the small bamboo hat in his hand. Then, he put the small hat on Luosha personally. "Tell everyone in the Sand Village that this is his designated successor and their future Kage, the 4th Kazekage." Even though the Sandame had only been in office for 2 years and was still in his prime, he still chose his successor early on. Because after more than a year of getting along, Shagu recognized Luosha. There will definitely be no one more suitable to be the 4th Kazekage than Rasa. 2 Kazekage hats appeared on the streets of Sand Village at the same time, and all the ninjas in the village understood what the 3rd Kazekage meant. In fact, Rasa became the crown prince of the Sand Village. From that day on, Luosha would personally deliver dinner to the Feng Ying building every day to supervise whether Shagu had eaten lunch. From that day on, the two became real father and son, and they became each other's only relatives in the world. "Master, please put me down." Luosha's embarrassed voice sounded. Shagu has been holding Luosha for 5 minutes with no intention of letting go, so Luosha has no choice but to remind him. Shagu came to his senses, put Luosha down, and the two of them did their usual daily report and ended their conversation. Before leaving, Luosha gave 50 Pokeballs and a Pokémon illustrated book that he bought temporarily from the mall to Shagu. After explaining how to use them, he prepared to go back to his room to sleep. The 3 little ones had already rolled into a ball, so Luosha simply carried them back to the room. Chapter 8. Daily Life. Luosha's previous strategy was to seek progress while maintaining stability, wait for Kira and the others to grow up, let Shagu see the value of the Pokémons, and then popularize the Pokémons. But with the appearance of Huhu, Luosha changed his mind. Huhu showed Luosha a bright future, which is the Pokémon economy. Luosha can use this to earn a lot of wealth, exchange the wealth for Pokémon coins, and accelerate his growth. In other words, the sooner the Pokémons are popularized, the sooner Luosha can become stronger. Therefore, Luosha chose to advance recklessly. Luosha deceived Shagu, or rather, deceived everyone. But no one could expose Luosha's lies. As long as Luosha can continue to bring Pokémons, they will only trust Luosha more. Everyone in the world believes that the spirit world exists, but they just can't find it or enter it. Luosha took the 3 noisy little ones back to his room and bought a bucket of Moo Moo milk from the mall. This bucket was enough for an Pokémon cub to eat 10 times. Including the Pokémon encyclopedia I bought before, there are 8,068 Pokémon coins left. Luosha poured the fresh milk into 3 bottles and distributed them to the 3 little ones sitting in a row. 3 meals a day plus a bottle of milk at night, this is the diet that Luosha planned for the 3 little ones who are still in their infancy. Kira took it in his hand, but did not suck the pacifier. Instead, he unscrewed the bottle cap with his little paws, raised his head and drank the milk in one gulp. "Yuki, another bottle." Yukara handed the bottle to Rosa and called out. Luosha looked at Hu and Shiwanzi who had just taken a sip, and fell silent. Clearly Yukara was no ordinary cub. Luosha took the bottle, filled it up and gave it to Yukara. 2 seconds later. "Yuki. Luosha. Just drink this bucket." "Yuki." Yukara's eyes lit up, and he immediately got up, ran to the bucket with his short legs, and buried his head in the bucket. Gulp, gurgle, gurgle. Thump. Yukara was half buried in the bucket, with his legs facing the air. Did it fall in? The bucket could fit just half of Yukara, and Luosha could only see Yukara's lower body. Kira's short legs and arms made it difficult for him to turn over, so he was struggling hard. Hu. Ishiwanzi. The 2 little ones were stunned by Kira's actions. Luosha reacted immediately and pulled Yuki out. "Yuki." Yukara had a look of relief on his face, and he rubbed against Luosha's arms with a wronged look on his face. Luosha, who was covered in milk. Luosha could only remind himself that the child was still young and not to get angry. Yukara finally finished drinking the whole bucket of milk, looking at her bulging belly. Luosha couldn't help but ponder, how on earth could he finish drinking half of his own volume of milk? This unscientific. After taking a bath, Luosha washed the 3 little ones again and then lay down on the bed. On the left is Hu. The introverted Hu will curl himself up into his shell before going to sleep. On the right is Ishiwanzi. Ishiwanzi is always quiet and like a little lady. She only becomes unladylike when Yukara provokes her and chases Yukara to beat him. Yukara insisted on staying in Luosha's arms, and Luosha listened to it and fell asleep in his arms. Yukara is the most mischievous one, and as the oldest brother he always likes to annoy his 2 younger sisters. Hu can just retract into its shell, out of sight and out of mind, but Shiwanzi can't. When Ishimaru gets angry, he will chase after Yukara and beat him, but he can never catch up with him. The larval Yukara is not hard, so it is quite comfortable to hold. Luosha fell asleep peacefully holding Yukira. At this time, next to Luosha, in Shagu's room. Shagu was fiddling with the Pokémon encyclopedia. The more I looked at Shagu, the more frightened I became. The Pokémon system is so perfect and mature. If you hadn't seen it with your own eyes, no one would have imagined that there are such magical creations as Pokémons in the world. Shagu seemed to have already seen the scene of Sand Village beating up Konoha, kicking Kumo Village, conquering Mist Village, and making Iwagakure cry. Although the Sand Village became powerful under the 2nd generation, it has always lacked high-end combat power. Only Cho and Nidame Shaman have reached the level of Cage as puppeteers. Shaman has passed away, and now only Cho serves as the puppeteer's front. And Shagu is the one who succeeded in the magnetic escape experiment. He also used it to become a Cage-level powerhouse, the only Cage-level powerhouse among his peers. If the 2nd Hokage had not conducted the experiment of magnetic escape, and if the 3rd Hokage had not awakened magnetic escape, then once the 2nd Hokage passed away, there would be a generation gap at the level of Cage in the Sand Village. The appearance of Shagu undoubtedly saved the face of the Sand Village. The reason why the 5 major ninja villages are called the 5 major ninja villages is that national power, ninja scale, and other aspects are one of the judging factors. But if you want to maintain your position as one of the 5 major ninja villages, the real key is a Cage-level strongman. A shadow-level strongman is a real-life nuclear weapon, capable of destroying an entire small country by himself. Only the 5 major ninja villages with Cage-level strongmen in charge can ensure the stability of the ninja villages. The shadow is the face of every ninja village and represents the strongest fighting force of the ninja village. However, the appearance of Pokémons is likely to lead to an influx of powerful shadow-level warriors. The top of the world in the future may no longer be at the level of Kage, but at the level of Hashirama Senju and Uchiha Madara. Looking at the classification standards of Pokémon's strength in the illustration book, there are actually 2 levels after Shadow. Super Shadow and the 6 Paths. Shagu had been in a state of shock since he started looking at the Pokémon encyclopedia, and now he was numb with shock. It is recorded in the Pokémon Atlas, which means that there are Super Shadow and 6 Paths powerful beings in the Pokémon world. This is terrible, it turns out I'm not strong enough. Is the Shadow level very strong? Strong? How strong? It has been this level for all these years. I should reflect on whether I have worked hard all these years. The next morning, Luo Sha was sitting at the dining table and saw Shagu with dark circles under his eyes. He realized that Shagu had not slept all night because of studying the Pokémon encyclopedia. The 3 little ones sat on the ground and feasted on their meal. Oh, only Kira was eating with relish, while Hu and Ishiwanzi were still paying attention to their appearance. After finishing his meal and putting away the 3 little ones, Luo Sha went to pick up Carula. Carula's house is right on the road between Raza's house and the ninja school, so Raza goes to school with Carula every day. In addition to Carula, Raza also has a little follower, Suya. Suya is 1 year older than Rosa and is the son of Su, the head of the Su family. Normally, Suya is already in the 2nd grade, but Suya is smart and lets Suya study abroad for a year and arranges him to be in the same class as Luasha. The main family is the 2nd largest family in the Sand Village and lives next to the Sand Clan. So the 3 of them formed a fixed team to go to school, and Luo Sha naturally guessed that these would be the members of his future ninja team. Luo Sha calmly accepted the kindness of the Zone family. Although Zone Yu, the head of the Zone family, is a man of many thoughts, he is not a bad person. Zone Yu, I have too many worries? My neighbor has already sent his daughter away, what can I do? I am also desperate. Besides, Suya is simple and obedient. Although he is 1 year older than Luasha, his cute baby face makes Luasha look like an older brother and Suya like a younger brother. Suya had already been impressed by the strength shown by Luasha and called Luasha big brother. Who can resist such a cute little brother? Chapter 9. Moses' Habitat. The 26th year of Sunagakure, December 7th. With 2 dark circles under his eyes, Shagu and Luo Sha prepared to go to the habitat area to capture Pokémons. During these 2 days, Shagu handled official business during the day and spent the whole night using the Pokémon encyclopedia to learn about Pokémons. Attribute restraint, Pokémon type, Pokémon characteristics, Pokémon level. It took Shagu 2 nights to finish reading the huge and complicated information. Luo Sha, what kind of Pokémons are there in this habitat? Shagu carried Luasha on his back and walked quickly towards the Moses habitat. The Moses habitat is the first habitat born in the spirit world. Because of me, it was established in the Kingdom of Wind. The Kingdom of Wind is located in the desert, which is suitable for rock-type and ground-type Pokémons to survive, so the Pokémons in the Moses habitat are all rock-type and ground-type Pokémons. Luo Sha lay on Shagu's back and explained to Shagu the Moses habitat. The Moses habitat is a medium-sized habitat, and the strongest creature in it is a fire-breathing camel. Wild fire-breathing camels need to eat, so they must live near an oasis. Master, have you read the information in the Pokémon encyclopedia? Luo Sha continued to popularize science. Well, you mentioned it before. I specifically checked out the fire-breathing camels. You said we should capture the entire tribe. The fire-breathing camels can not only help ninjas fight, but also be used as a means of transportation. They are really perfect for us. Of course you can, but the fire camel must be properly placed. It would be best if the fire camel village is publicly owned and cannot belong to just one ninja. We need to take the path of sustainable development, let the fire-breathing camels reproduce and lay more Pokémon eggs. When there are enough of them, we can distribute the fire-breathing camels to the ninjas in need. The map shows that there are 36 fire-breathing camels in the oasis, which is not a large group, so Luo Sha proposed that the village nationalize the fire-breathing camels. That's no problem. There are few fire-breathing camels and the village can afford to raise them. Shagu agreed. In fact, we can set up a fire camel desert shipping company. The fire-breathing camel can both protect the merchant's safety and carry cargo, so it must be very popular among merchants. The sand village is located in the desert, and the transportation conditions discourage many people from coming there, so they are unwilling to come to the sand village when a mission is issued. The sand village currently only has mission reception points set up in a few large cities. When the number of fire-breathing camels increases, it will be convenient for residents of the wind country to come to the sand village. The sand village can also set up mission receiving points in more cities. Then, we can take back the mission share of the wind country. Luo Xia took advantage of the opportunity to talk about his Pokémon business plan. Now more and more people from the wind country choose to go to Konoha to issue missions, and the village's income is decreasing every year. The stingy daimyo was unwilling to increase financial support, and the sand village became more and more frugal. Oh! Good idea! Then let's capture all the fire-breathing camels. Shagu nodded at Luosha. He is worthy of being my son, he is so smart. Master, please provide the specific implementation plan later. I don't know the price level in the shipping industry. With the strength of Shaguying level, the two quickly entered the Moses habitat. Rosa, is this Guedud? Shagu asked in surprise, looking at the floating stone in front of him. If you hadn't seen it with your own eyes, who would dare to believe that there are moving stones in the world? Yes, Guedud can evolve into Rumble, and then evolve into Rumble Rock through communication exchange. This is the edge of the habitat. If we go another 10 kilometers to the left, we will reach Moses Oasis. Luo Xia glanced at the Guedud, whose individual value was 0V, and he no longer had any thoughts of capturing it. Along the way, Luo Xia encountered more than 10 Pokémon, and only one Radon reached 1V, and it was a special attack 1. The individual value of special attack 1 had no effect on the physical attacker's Radon. However, although there was a Guedud that was 0V, Rosa captured it and gave it to the ninjas in need after returning. Name: Fistful of Stone. Gender: male. Attribute: Rock, Ground. Features: Hard Head. Even when using a move that will cause damage due to reaction force, HP will not decrease. Level: LV 19, Genin. Individual: 0V, HP 29, Attack 30, Defense 28, Special Attack 24, Special Defense 30, Speed 28. Skills: Impact, Rounding, Rock Grinding, Rolling, Stomping, Rockfall, Shooting Down. Although it is 0V, it is also considered a small top-grade product. If it is properly cultivated, its combat effectiveness is still good. When Luo Xia and his companion arrived at Moses Oasis, they headed straight for the fire-breathing camel. The frequency of encountering Pokémon in the oasis has increased significantly. Luo Xia looks at Nidorino and Nidorina, a couple in love in front of him. They didn't even notice him and Shagu approaching them, they were still flirting with each other. That Nidorina actually had 2V. Rosa asked Shaco to knock Nidorina out and captured it directly with one poke ball. Nidorino looked at Nidoran disappearing before his eyes, was stunned for a moment, and then immediately rushed towards Shagu angrily. Oh! Nidorino attacks, Nidorino is kicked away. Oh! Nidorino attacked again, and Nidorino was kicked away again. Beautiful! Player Shagu is worthy of being a cage-level powerhouse, and he gave Luosha a bullying the weak crushing performance. Nidorino, who had been knocked down countless times, shed tears of humiliation. Awakened by the reality, Nidorino got up again and no longer rushed forward mindlessly. Instead, he looked at Luosha with tears in his eyes. Ni. Do you also want to be conquered by me? Luosha roughly understood what Nidorino meant. Nini. Nidorino kept nodding its head like pounding garlic, and it gently patted its chest with its front paws, as if to assure Luosha that it would be obedient. Okay. Facing Nidorino's cute big eyes, Luosha compromised with a soft heart. Just consider it a buy one get one free deal. Then we can find a ninja to train together. Luosha and his companion continued on their journey. There were some unique fruits and vegetation in the oasis. However, that was the food for the Pokémons in the oasis, so Luosha did not pick it. After searching for about 2 hours, we reached the easternmost part of Moses Oasis, the border between the oasis and the desert. 2 fire-breathing camels and 1 stupid fire camel appeared in front of the 2 men. This is obviously a family of 3. Name: Fire-breathing camel. Gender: male. Attribute: Fire, Ground. Features: Lava armor, covers the body with red-hot lava, permanently increases special defense by 1 level, and will not turn into a frozen state. Level LV 67, Elite Jonin. Individual 2v, HP 25, Attack 14, Defense 27, Special Attack 31, Special Defense 31, Speed 19. Skill Shout, Jet of Flame, Energy Gathering, Stomping, Burning, Instant Amnesia, Power of the Earth, Earthquake. As expected of an Pokémon that can reach Elite Jonin in the wild, its panel is truly luxurious. The other fire-breathing camel has the strength of a level 49 special Jonin, and has obviously been stuck in a bottleneck period for a long time. Name fire-breathing camel. Gender female. Attribute fire, ground. Features lava armor. Level LV 49, special Jonin. Individual 0v, HP 24, Attack 28, Defense 17, Special Attack 20, Special Defense 27, Speed 24. Skill. But it was the stupid fire camel that made Luosha's eyes light up. Chapter 10. Conquer. Name dumb fire camel. Gender female. Attribute fire, ground. Features lava armor. Level LV 22, Chunin. Individual 3v, HP 27, Attack 31, Defense 27, Special Attack 31, Special Defense 31, Speed 19. Skills Scream, Sparks, Stomping, Burning, Instant Amnesia, Smoke. The race value of the fire camel is 460, including 100 attack and 105 special attack. The individual values of this fire camel in both attack and defense are 31, and it has no shortcomings in attack. If you encounter an opponent with high physical defense, use special attack. If you encounter an opponent with high special defense, use physical attack. The key is that the Dewatu is still young, so it is easier to develop feelings. It would be better for the whole family to go to the sand village together to enjoy themselves. No, it should be that all the camels in the clan come together to enjoy the good life in the sand village. Humph! The melodious voice of the fire camel father rang out, and the fire camel mother took the stupid fire camel and ran towards the desert behind. Shagu immediately put down Luosha and entered combat mode. An Umbu ninja appeared and took Rasa to the back. Luosha, look carefully, this is magnetic escape. Shagu raised his hand, and the sand under his feet began to flow. The range of the sand flow became larger and larger, and dense sand iron flew out of the sand. Magnetic release, sand armor. Magnetic style, sand iron shuriken. Part of the iron sand turned into armor covering Shagu, and the rest of the iron sand turned into shurikens. Thousands of shurikens shot at the fire-breathing camel from all directions. Seeing that it couldn't avoid it, the fire-breathing camel immediately used the guard skill. Magnetic release, sand iron cage. The sand iron cage did not trap the fire camel father, but trapped the fire camel mother and the stupid fire camel who tried to escape. The two camels that were running away were trapped in place by the iron sand that rose in front of them. The iron sand flowed out from the ground and surrounded them. The fire-breathing camel mother used her jet flame, spraying a powerful flame ray from her mouth, but the ray was dissipated as soon as it came into contact with the iron sand. The sand iron did not move at all. The gap between the two is too big. Even if this sand iron cage was just made by Shagu casually, it cannot be broken by the fire-breathing camel with the strength of a special Jonin. Humph! When the fire-breathing camel father saw that his wife and children were trapped, he immediately roared anxiously, and an ochre-colored light rose around them. It's the power of the earth. The ochre-colored light flew towards Shagu from the earth at a very fast speed. Shagu did not dodge or evade, but quickly formed a seal to resist. Magnetic release, sand shield. The shield formed by sand iron surrounds Shuang Shagu in all directions, forming a polygonal closed barrier. The power of the earth from the fire-breathing camel lasted for more than 20 seconds before gradually subsiding. The fire-breathing camel was in despair. Its full-strength attack of the power of the earth couldn't even break the human's shield. It had realized that the two were not on the same level at all. After using its ultimate move for more than 20 seconds, it was already exhausted. If it were alone at this moment, it would definitely fight to the end and look for a chance to escape. But it can't run, because its wife and children are still behind it. Woo! The fire-breathing camel let out a wail but didn't attack again. Shagu stopped the magnetic escape and looked at the fire camel. Although he didn't quite understand what the fire camel meant, he knew that the fire camel had no intention of fighting anymore. Master, the fire-breathing camel means that it is willing to go with you. Can you please let its family go? Luo Sha shouted at Shagu. Luosha can understand what the Pokémon means, but before this, Luosha had only communicated with his own Pokémon and thought it was a special kind of tacit understanding, just like the one between Xiaozai and Pikachu. It was not until he came to the Moses habitat this time and encountered wild Pokémon that Luo Sha was able to roughly understand the words of the wild Pokémons and discovered that he had this special skill. Naturally, Luo Sha also understood the cheesy love words between Nidorino and Nidorina. So Luo Sha could understand why the talented Nidorina would choose the mediocre Nidorino as her partner. That kid Nidorino kept saying sweet words to Nidorina, which made her completely obsessed with him. I just want to take you in as my summoning beast, but this will separate you from your flesh and blood. If possible, I invite you to come to the Sand Village together. The Sand Village is one of the 5 major ninja villages in the ninja world and one of the most powerful forces in the world. Follow me, and I can guarantee that your living standards will be better than they are now, and your children will receive better education. If possible, all of you, the fire-breathing camel clan, can come to the Sand Village and settle down there. After listening to Luo Sha's translation, Shagu thought for a moment and began to persuade the fire-breathing camel. After hearing what Shagu said, the fire-breathing camel fell into hesitation. Most Pokémons are simple-minded, and the fire-breathing camel did not doubt the truthfulness of Shagu's words. In fact, you have no choice. Either you are defeated by me, or you are convinced by me. What I can guarantee is that Sunagakure is friendly to you and will never harm you. Seeing that the fire-breathing camel was hesitating, Shagu continued to guide it. Humph! The fire camel mother came over and rubbed the fire camel father. The 2 camels had a brief conversation, and finally the fire camel father chose to compromise. The whole family entered the Pokeball together. Shagu released the Charizards from the Pokeball again and asked them to lead the way to the Charizards gathering place. As the strongest man in the Moses habitat, the fire-breathing camel father is naturally also the patriarch of the fire-breathing camel clan. Fire-breathing camels, what happened? Oh my god, the chief actually brought humans to subdue them. We are ready to fight to the death, why did the clan leader surrender first? The fire-breathing camels were about to resist, but Shagu threw a huge iron sand barrier at them, and they all fell silent. The patriarch is still sensible. In the end, with the active cooperation of the Charizards, they lined up one by one and took the initiative to enter the Pokeball. In this wave, we directly harvested 22 fire-breathing camels and 14 stupid fire camels. There are still 14 empty Pokeballs at this time. The system map can query the distribution range of each race in the habitat and the information of the Pokémon, but it cannot query the specific location of each Pokémon. Therefore, the 2 of them searched in the oasis for more than 6 hours, carefully selecting Pokémons with outstanding individual values. It was not until the sun was setting that the remaining 14 Pokeballs were successfully filled. March 26 RD, the 7th year of Sunagakure. The Kazekage announced that a top-level Sunagakure meeting would be held in 2 days. All the Jonin of the Sand Village who were not on a mission were required to attend the meeting, and those Jonin who were on non-emergency missions outside were also recalled. March 26 RD, the 7th year of Sunagakure. The Sand Village Conference is held. The 8 elders, led by Cho and Ebizo. The patriarchs of major families, led by the patriarch of the Sha clan, Gades, the patriarch of the Zone clan, Zanjiu, and the patriarch of the Lai clan, Li Feng. Civilian Jonin such as Ma Yuan, Zoro, Ming Ji, and Akira. There were 84 people sitting in the entire hall. Except for the 3 Jonin who were unable to return to the Sand Village, all the Jonin of the Sand Village gathered together. They were all very curious as to why the Kazekage convened the highest-level Sand Village meeting. This is a meeting that is only held in the most urgent times in the Sand Village. The last meeting was because of the First Ninja War. What's more, the Sand Village was calm at this time, and nothing major happened in the ninja world. After arriving, each ninja sat in his seat, talked quietly with the ninja next to him, and waited for the meeting to begin. They would never have thought that this meeting would start a transformation for the Sand Village and usher in its golden age. Chapter 11. The shock brought by the Pokémons. The Sand Village now maintains a number of ninjas, including 32 elite Jonins, 55 Jonins, and 180 special Jonins. There are about 5,000 Chuyunin and about Genin. The Sand Village's high-level leadership is divided into two factions, and maintaining a balance between the two factions is one of the responsibilities of the Kazekage. However, both factions take the orders of the Kazekage as their highest instructions, and there will be no talent like Danzo. The family faction has 49 jonin, headed by Cho. Cho is the Kazekage's advisor, head of the medical department, and leader of the puppet squad. Ebizo served as the head of the interrogation department. Caltex serves as the head of the administrative department. Zone Yu serves as Minister of Foreign Affairs. Li Feng serves as the squad leader of the sealing class. The civilian faction has 38 jonin, led by Ma Zhen. Ma Yuan serves as the Minister of the Umbu. Solon serves as the Minister of Police. Ming Ji served as Feng Ying's staff officer. Akara serves as the squad leader of the Jonin squad. Although Shaku has only been the Kazekage for 3 years, he is extremely capable and is able to suppress both factions very well, especially the ninjas from the civilian faction, who completely follow Shaku's lead. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Shaku brought Luasha into the meeting room from outside. With Shaku's arrival, the meeting place immediately became quiet. Everyone stood up and bowed in unison to show their respect for the Kazekage. "Everyone, please sit down." Sagyu sat down on the chair at the head. On the left sat the elders and family ninjas headed by Zhou, followed by Ebizo, Gadex, Su, Li Feng, and others. Sitting first on the right is Ma Yuan, followed by Zoro, Ming Ji, Akara and other civilian jonin. Everyone should want to know why I convened this Sunagakure meeting. Here are the relevant documents, you can take them and have a look first. Shaku distributed the Pokemon-related information he had compiled over the past 2 days. 5 minutes later, all the jonin looked at each other in disbelief, with the same expression on their faces. Such a spiritual holy place is simply unheard of. In this document, Shaku concealed most of Luasha's functions and only stated that Luasha could contract with the spirit world. It mainly introduces the situation of the Pokemon world and Pokemons. What I have in my hand is the Pokeball, the seal necessary for contracting Pokemons. Now only our Sand Village can obtain it. This is an unimaginable opportunity. Seeing that everyone had finished watching, Shaku took out the Pokeball. Then, Shaku released the fire-breathing camel. Humph! After the fire-breathing camel came out, it glanced at everyone, snorted handsomely, and fire rose from its back. Everyone in the room could feel the scorching heat. My master told me that if I behaved well today, I would get extra food in the future. I think I behaved well. The fire-breathing camel was secretly proud of himself. This is the fire-breathing camel, a fire and earth-type spirit with the strength of an elite jonin. In order to let you feel the strength of the Pokemons more intuitively, you can have a sparring match with the fire-breathing camel when you go to the training ground later. I currently have 14 Pokemons, 1 at jonin level, 2 at special jonin level, 5 at Chunin level and 6 at Genin level. I decided to give the Pokemons of Chunin and Genin to talented younger ninjas, but they must be recognized by the Pokemons before they can obtain the Pokemons. As for the spirits of the Jonin and Special Jonin, if you want any, you can take them away after getting the approval of the spirits. Shaku was very satisfied with the appearance animation of the fire-breathing camel and continued to speak. Most of the 84 Jonin present were tempted. The Sand Village was really lacking in summoning beasts, and the only clan that maintained long-term cooperation with the Sand Village was the Kama Itaki clan. The Kama Itaki clan joined the Sand Village along with the Rei clan, which led to the Kama Itaki clan being more willing to make summoning contracts with the ninjas of the Rei clan. Kama Itaki live in the northern part of the Land of Wind. There are about 200 of them, 8 of whom have reached the level of Jonin. The strongest patriarch of the Kama Itaki clan is named Itakakaze, who barely has the strength of an elite Jonin and is now Li Feng's exclusive summoning beast. Most of the Sand Village ninjas don't have summoning beasts. At least among the 84 Jonin present here, only 13 currently have summoning beasts. Master Kazekage, what are you waiting for? Let's go to the training ground. Chi Luo, who was impatient, spoke quickly. A group of people went to the Sand Village training ground in a mighty manner. Chi Luo, how about you compete with the fire-breathing camel? Shaku looked at Chi Luo, and Chi Luo, who loved fighting, agreed with a happy face. The two sides walked to the training ground and stood there, and Akara made a ninja seal representing friendly sparring. The fire-breathing camel looked at Chi Luo's strange behavior, and although he didn't understand, he still responded. Red-hot air rose from the back of the fire-breathing camel, and a jet of flame flew straight towards Qi Luo. Qi Luo used the instant substitution technique to avoid the attack and rushed towards the fire-breathing camel at high speed. The kunao in his hand flashed with cold light and stabbed straight at the fire-breathing camel. When the fire-breathing camel saw Qi Luo rushing towards him quickly, it knew that it was not as flexible as Qi Luo and would easily suffer a loss in close combat, so it immediately used the method of digging a hole to avoid Qi Luo's attack. Qi Luo looked at the hole in front of him and immediately used perception ninjutsu. No chakra flow. Earth escape river. Seeing that his perception ninjutsu had failed, Akira, who was experienced in combat, immediately used the B-level ninjutsu earth flow river to make the land within 2 meters around him flow to protect himself. As long as the fire-breathing camel gets close, Qi Luo will be able to spot it immediately. Seeing this, the fire-breathing camel appeared from behind Qi Luo, and with an earthquake, it broke up Qi Luo's earth flow and attacked Qi Luo directly. Fire release, Great Flame Bullet. Akira reacted extremely quickly, jumping in time to dodge and unleashing ninjutsu in mid-air. The fire-breathing camel did not dodge and used burn to burn on Qi Luo. Although Qi Luo reacted in time and used the clone technique, his clothes were still burned. However, fire attacks were not very effective against the fire camel, and the large fire bomb did not achieve the desired effect. Then, ninjutsu and natural energy intertwined, and the two of them exchanged blows several times. Qi Luo knew that he could not defeat the fire-breathing camel using long-range ninjutsu, so he looked for an opportunity to get close. Wait until the fire-breathing camel has finished releasing its skills, then Qi Luo uses the teleportation technique to get close to the fire-breathing camel. Earth release split the earth and turn the palm. Qi Luo struck the fire-breathing camel with all his strength, but he felt as if he had hit a barrier. Yes, keep it unscathed. How can this be? The crowd watching did not understand the purpose of guarding and just found it incredible. To block the full-strength attack of an elite Jonin without getting hurt, only a cage-level warrior could do it. Qi Luo in the field was also shocked. Seeing that his attack was ineffective, he immediately withdrew and avoided the stomping of the fire-breathing camel. The fire-breathing camel immediately fired another jet of flame, but it was again dodged by Qi Luo using his substitution technique. The two of them went back and forth like this, neither of them could do anything to the other. The fire-breathing camel can't hit Qi Luo, and Qi Luo's regular attacks can only scratch the fire-breathing camel, but his full-strength attack can be blocked. The battle has turned into a war of attrition. In the end, it was Shagu who stepped in and ended the battle. Draw. This result was beyond the expectations of all the watching Jonin from the Sand Village. The strongest summoning beast in the Sand Village before, Itakafo, was no match for Akira. However, the fire-breathing camel was able to fight Qi Luo on equal terms. This means that the fire-breathing camel is stronger than the weasel. Everyone looked at Shagu with fiery eyes. They were all impressed by the strength shown by the Pokémons. Chapter 12. Popularity. Fengying, I don't need a summoned beast. Can you give Jiao a chance and let Jiao try to gain the recognition of the Pokémons? Cho was the first to speak. She had already seen that the Pokémons were in such high demand that there must be too many people and too little meat. Having become a powerful shadow-level warrior, she no longer has much need for summoned beasts, so she simply gives up the opportunity to obtain an Pokémon, giving Jiao a better chance of obtaining an Pokémon. Cho's son Jiao is extremely talented in puppetry and has now become a special Jonin. Cho handed over part of the power of the puppet class to Jiao. When Jiao becomes a Jonin, Cho will recommend Jiao to be the new leader of the puppet squad. If he obtains a Pokémon, Jiao's combat power will reach the level of a Jonin faster. No problem. Call that kid Jiao over later and let him choose the Pokémon first. Shagu would naturally give Cho this face. Cho is one of the only 2 cage-level strongmen in the Sand Village. Cho didn't like government affairs. After teaching a few disciples, he handed over all affairs to Ebizo and his disciples. Cho usually goes to the oasis behind the Sand Village to fish and swim. She is strong and has few problems, so there is no leader who doesn't like her. Ebizo, do I deserve to be exploited? If I could beat my sister. Cho's disciples, we are even more miserable, okay? We are workers with a working soul, and we are all subordinates to others. Lord Kazekage, Zanja is a very talented child, and now he is in need of a summoning beast. Please have mercy on me. Such a big Zone family doesn't even have a decent summoning beast, woo. The shameless Zone Yu began to show off his acting skills. Like Cho, Su simply gave up his own chance at getting a spirit just to make sure Suya would get one. Lord Kazekage, I only have one daughter, Carula. You must leave a Pokemon for Carula. Gaddis on the side immediately became angry, but he had no acting skills and couldn't cry even though he wanted to. Li Feng. Li Feng was so aggrieved that he was about to cry. It was not that he didn't ask, but the Lai clan already had a sickle weasel. If he asked for it, he would definitely be attacked by everyone. Bala Bala. Jilagawala. Everyone started talking and complaining, some for themselves, some for the younger generations. The Jonin with whom he was on bad terms had already started to sabotage. Ah sure, you're talking nonsense. I just saw your spiritual beast, the desert duck, yesterday. Guanjun angrily scolded Ashur who was crying miserably. You are talking nonsense, that is not a desert duck, it is clearly a desert rat. How can you call a rat a duck? Ashu pointed at Guanjun and trembled with anger. You admit it, you already have a spirit beast. Guanjun said with a proud smile. You have already found your way to death. Knowing that he had fallen into a trap, Ashu couldn't help but slap Guanjun in the face. Guanjun didn't expect Ashur to attack him, so he got bruises on his face and immediately pinched back. The two of them were interacting with each other and it was very lively. This was just a microcosm of the training ground, where the Jonins were caring for each other's families. The most outrageous thing was that 8 Jonins sat in a circle, and when one of them started to speak, 7 of them started to curse. It was quite lively. It's a pity that there is no camera, so such a rare scene cannot be recorded. Luo Sha was eating melon nearby. Alright, stop making such a fuss. Do you still look like a Jonin? Do you still remember that you are the elite of the Sand Village? Following Shago's loud shout, the noise at the scene immediately fell silent. If you or your juniors need to obtain a spirit, please register with Mingo. I will select suitable ninjas and arrange for them to have a double selection with the spirits. Shago made the final decision, and everyone lined up to register with Minga. Bah, shameless! Guanjun cursed inwardly as he looked at Ashur standing in line. Ashu was in a lot of pain. He couldn't find a good spirit beast. What could he do? He really wanted to improve himself. In the end, 168 people registered. 67 Jonins signed up, and Shaku directly released the Jonin level Radon, especially the Jonin level Nidoking and Cradle Lily. Longlongian chose Ma Yuan. Yesterday, when Shagu and Luasha were raising Pokémons, Longlongian met Ma Yuan. The smart Longlongian knew that Ma Yuan was of high status, so he chose him. Cho has already called Jiao, and King Nido finally chose Jiao. In other words, Jiao took a liking to Nidoking at first sight. This talented puppeteer loved strong things the most, and the puppets he made were mostly large in size. Seeing that Jiao liked it, naturally no stubborn senior ninja dared to snatch it from him. Nidoking saw Radon and Cradle Lily surrounded by 3 circles inside and outside him, and then looked in front of himself and saw only Jiao. The silly Nidoking thought that he was unwelcome and that only Jiao was willing to be his trainer, so he immediately agreed to Jiao's invitation. Nidoking, woohoo, I'm so touched. I will work hard in the future and not bring shame to my master. Seeing that Jiao had tamed Nidoking, Cho left with satisfaction, humming a little tune and prepared to go fishing. Cradle Lily is a face control and chose the beautiful Lien. Lien Nianfang is 20 years old and is one of Cho's disciples. He is good at poison techniques and medical ninjutsu. He passed the Jonin examination last year and now manages the medical department for Cho. Cradle Lily fell in love with Lien at first sight among a group of middle-aged greasy uncles and immediately became attached to Lien. Cradle Lily, beautiful girl, so sweet. Lien was surprised and immediately hugged Cradle Lily. Finally, Shagu handed the Pokeball to the 3 people, ending the Sand Village meeting. As for the Chunin and Genin level Pokemons, Shagu selected 101 out of 30 people. People like Keu, Karura, and Soil will undoubtedly be selected. Some of the senior ninjas recommended several juniors. The most outrageous one was Duofo, who directly recommended 20 people. Duofo is also a weirdo. Duofo was born a commoner ninja, and was determined to revive many families by himself, achieving the transition from a commoner ninja to a family ninja. Duofu now has 13 concubines and 34 children. There are 20 registered ninjas among the descendants of the family, which is indeed a small family. As for why Duofu's wife didn't stop Duofu's actions? Duofu's wife Lala is eager for Duofu to take several concubines. I don't know whether Duofu or Lala will be happier if he takes a concubine. Looking at the 20 names starting with the word Duo, Shagu directly cut off all of them and only kept the 2 ninjas with the last talents, Duo Z and Duo Nu. These 2 had the potential to become Jonin, so Shagu kept them. In the end, 5 Chunin level and Genin level Pokémon successfully chose their own trainers. It is worth mentioning that the Chunin level Nidorino chose Duo Z, and his partner Nidorina also chose Duo Z. However, each person can only choose one Pokémon. In order not to be separated from Nidorino, Nidorina chose Dory. When Duofu heard the news, his old face smiled like a chrysanthemum. As for Carula and Suya, they did not obtain any Pokémons. The best Pokémon captured in the Moses habitat is an individual value of no more than 2V. Luo Xia promised to give them better ones in a few days. As Rose's little followers, Suya and Carula naturally listened to their boss and happily left with the illustrated book given by Rosa. Chapter 13. Transport Company, Pokémon Shop. All the Pokémons have been distributed, and the next one is the fire-breathing camel clan. Shagu settled the fire-breathing camel tribe in the north of the village. The sand village faces north and south, and the north is the back of the sand village. There is a large oasis there. The first generation Kazekage Rasa chose the sand village as his base because of that oasis. The fire-breathing camel clan is settled between the oasis and the sand village. The 26th year of Sunagakure, December 7th. Kazekage Office. The fire camel can be used for desert transportation. I decided to set up a fire camel transportation company to facilitate trade between the village and major cities. Shagu called Caltex to discuss with him. Lord Kazekage is wise. Caltex praised. The sand village is restricted by its geographical location and transportation is difficult. Merchants are also prone to danger in the desert. Problems such as sandstorms and desert wolves have hindered the development of Sunagakure's trade. For the regular supply of materials to Sand Village, it is necessary to send Sand Village ninjas to the city to deliver them personally. Hiring ninjas to transport supplies in the desert is equivalent to a C-level task. If the value of the supplies is high, it is a B-level task. Not only is the labor cost of a trip high, but the cargo volume is also limited. The Sand Village invests a lot of money in cargo transportation every year. The fire-breathing camel can greatly reduce the freight costs of Sand Village. Caltex is not stupid and immediately thought of the key. The village now has mission reception points in Tokiwa Castle and Nibi Castle. 2 ninjas are stationed in each city permanently to be responsible for the procurement and sale of supplies. I think those ninjas who retired after the first ninja war are very suitable. Shagu continued. Most of the ninjas who retired after the first ninja war were disabled. They could no longer perform missions and were forced to retire. Now most of them live on the village's minimum living allowance. Being responsible for material procurement does not require moving goods. It is an easy job and a long-term task that can greatly help the injured. Lord Feng Ying is wise. Gadex continued to support the comedy. There are now 22 fire-breathing camels and 14 fire-stupid camels in the Sand Village, a total of 36. Find 36 retired ninjas who made outstanding contributions in the First War and have them each be responsible for raising a spirit, and treat it as a long-term D-level mission. The fire-breathing camel can start transportation work immediately. With the fire-breathing camel, the village does not need to send ninjas to protect the routes. These retired ninjas can serve as supervisors. The transport team is divided into 2 teams. One team is equipped with 2 fire-breathing camels, 5 ordinary camels and 100 retired ninjas, and is responsible for the transportation of supplies to Nibi City and Viridian City respectively. There are also 12 fire-breathing camels, responsible for the transportation of the 6 bases of Sand Village in the Kingdom of Wind. Each team is equipped with 6 fire-breathing camels, 2 camels, and 2 retired ninjas. Only 1 trip a month is needed, and the rest of the time, the fire-breathing camels can reproduce well in the tribe's land. Shagu finished explaining everything in one breath. There are not enough fire-breathing camels to deliver to all the Sand Village bases. The Sand Village currently has 12 bases outside, and the remaining 6 bases can only be transported by ninjas. Shagu originally wanted to have the fire-breathing camels in charge of the strongholds make 2 trips a month to cover all the strongholds, but was stopped by Luosha. It takes about 10 days for 1 round trip, and 20 days for 2 trips. If I work 20 days a month and rest 10 days a month, it will be too difficult for the Charizard. Pokémon are not tools, but partners. Faced with Luosha's serious look, Shagu compromised. As for the fire camel, it will be trained in the Sand Village until it evolves and then put to work. Lord Feng Ying is wise. After listening to Shagu's perfect plan, Gadex felt that there was nothing to add, so he continued to support the comedy. Shagu continued to discuss some details with Caltex, mainly about cargo selection, cargo cost, monthly income, partners, and other issues. Caltex provided support throughout the show. It is really difficult for the Minister of Administration. Caltex understands politics but not economics. Do your job well. The administrative department will be in charge of the Fire Camel Transport Company first. I will find someone to take over later. If you have nothing else, just go down. After explaining the plan, Shagu waved his hand and lowered his head to continue processing documents. Caltex went out with a dazed look on his face. Another day without much desire in life. Family members, who knows? Having a boss who is a workaholic is really stressful. The Disabled Ninja Re-employment Program was proposed by Luosha, and the program specifically targets people who need to work in positions that require cooperation with the Pokémons. Most of the work was done by the Pokémons, and the ninjas just had to watch. Once established, the Flaming Camel Desert Transport Company provided jobs for 40 disabled ninjas. When there are more fire-breathing camels in the future, we can expand the trade between Sand Village and other cities, and let the fire-breathing camels be responsible for the transportation of materials distributed by merchants. On the other hand, Luosha was learning magnetic escape in the training ground. Luosha asked Shagu to help him take a 1-month vacation. It has been more than 2 years since Rasa awakened the magnetic escape technique, and 1 year since he refined chakra, but he has not practiced the magnetic escape technique. It's not that I don't want to, but I can't. The lowest level of magnetic ninjutsu is classified as B level. This is what Luosha is using now. Magnetic escape private gold. Luosha let out a low roar, and gold sand slowly rose from the ground. B-level ninjutsu consumes too much chakra. Rasa's current chakra level barely reaches that of a Chunin, which is approximately equal to 0.1 calories. Is it too much of a stretch after all? But at least it worked. Chakra had reached its limit, and Rasa stopped performing the ninjutsu. Now I can only extract chakra for 2 hours a day, but when I grow up I can extract it for longer. In order for Rasa to reach 1 card of chakra, he needs to be around 12 years old. By that time, he should have the strength of an elite Jonin. Luosha walked out of the training ground and went to the Pokémon shop opened by Shagu. Shagu gave Luosha 500 million taels of starting capital. It's good to have a father who is a Kazekage. Yesterday alone, Luosha made 800 million taels. After deducting costs, the net profit was about 400 million taels. Luosha naturally went to check today's bill, and then went home in the evening to replenish the stock from the system. Withdrawing money is just a side job, really. Now there are only 16 trainers in the Sand Village, including Shaco and Rasa, but the news of the Sand Village meeting the day before yesterday has spread in the Sand Village. The appearance of the Pokémons cannot be concealed, and there is no need to conceal it. Spies from other ninja villages have already sent back the news. The Country of Fire, Konoha Village. Hokage's office. Summoning beasts. No matter how much Sunagakure develops, it can never be as good as Konoha. Konoha has the contract scrolls of the 3 holy places. Sarutobi Hiruzen smoked a cigarette, put down the information in his hand, and didn't take it seriously. Root base. What's the use of having more summoned beasts for a poor ninja village like Sand Village? The gap between Konoha and Sand Village cannot be closed by summoned beasts. Danzo Shimura said disdainfully, just like Hiruzen Sarutobi, he looked down on the Sand Village. The same scene was played out in the 4 major ninja villages. The gears of fate slowly turned, and the future direction of the ninja world began to change. Chapter 14. Uncle Roger, Lottery. Sand Hidden Village. Luo Sha came to the Pokémon shop. Since the Pokémon shop opened yesterday, Pokeballs have been sold out. The ninjas who bought the Pokeballs hurried to the Moses habitat to capture Pokémon. Today Luo Sha increased the supply and is looking forward to today's bill. As for the price, the kind-hearted Luo Sha naturally sold it at twice the purchase price. 16 p.m. Pokémon shop. Uncle Roger, good afternoon. Luo Sha greeted Uncle Roger. Little Luo Sha is here, good afternoon. Here, the bill is on the table, this is today's income. Roger handed a big bag of money to Luo Sha. The Pokémon shop is located in the center of the commercial street in Sand Village. The Pokémon shop is extremely important, so Shagu sent Roger, a former Jonin, over. As for why he is a former Jonin? Uncle Roger was originally a Jonin-level ninja, but he overdrawn his potential in the first ninja war and his chakra was completely consumed and could not be regenerated. Roger lost all his strength and was retired by the village. However, the current Sand Village is not as poor as in the original story, and a monthly pension is given to the ninjas injured in the war. Roger was unwilling to give up and still wanted to continue being a ninja, so he began to practice physical skills after retirement. Relying on his powerful physical skills, Roger amazed everyone in last year's Chunin examination and re-entered the vision of the Sand Village's top leaders. Then, Roger was hidden by Shagu. Sand Village does not have its own exclusive physical skills ninja now, so Roger is setting a precedent. Shagu discovered Roger's extraordinary physical skills and recruited him into the Umbu. He didn't need to participate in any missions, and his only task was to perfect and develop his physical skills. The physical technique created by Roger is called the 3 days breathing method. Luo Sha, why does it sound so familiar? During the chat with Uncle Roger, Luo Sha learned that Uncle Roger had a 3-year-old son named Zi Luo. Shiro, this is a rare talent in the Sand Village. Luo Sha directly reserved Zi Luo, +1 for my future brother. When Roger knew that his son was favored by the future Wind Shadow, he was so excited that he almost gave his son away on the spot. Zi Luo, so love will disappear, right? Now Uncle Roger is in charge of looking after the Pokémon shop and developing physical skills at the same time. Luo Sha spread out the long bill and looked directly at the final statistics. Pokeball, 800 taels/piece, 2,000 sold out, sales of 160 million taels, net profit of 80 taels. Super Ball, 2,400 taels/piece, sales volume 700, sales revenue 168 million taels, net profit 84 taels. High-end Balls, 3,200 taels/piece, sales volume 500, sales revenue 160 million taels, net profit 80 taels. Elf Cube, 1,000 taels/piece, sales volume 70, sales revenue 14 taels, net profit 7 taels. Total sales, 680 million taels. Total profit, 340 million taels. After looking at the total bill, today's revenue is lower than yesterday. Various types of Pokeballs contributed more than 80% of sales. Luo Sha estimated that after the turmoil in the next few days was over and most ninjas had Pokemons, the sales of Pokeballs would drop rapidly. Products like Pokemon cubes and potions will see an increase in demand. In the future, daily sales will be able to be maintained at around 200 million taels, with a net profit of 100 million taels. Of course, this is when products such as Keystones and Evolution Stones are not yet on the shelves. Luo Sha looked at the bill with satisfaction, said hello to Uncle Roger and left. After returning home, Luo Sha couldn't wait to open the system and recharge the 680 million taels in his hand. Now Luo Sha's Pokemon coins have reached 14. That's right, the 500 million taels given by Shagu were taken by Luo Sha for free. After spending the Pokemon coins to replenish the stock, Luo Sha started another all-in wave. The things in the mall are good, but expensive. It is impossible to buy them. I can only draw prizes to make a living. White, 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 green. Old tradition, 9 white and 1 green. Luo Sha continued to smoke without changing his expression. 1 minute later. RNM, give me back the money. The blue guarantee is here again. Luo Sha pressed the 10 pull button helplessly. White, 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 green, blue. A non-African is still a non-African, and he will not change even if the world changes. After 990 draws, Luo Sha, who had a full guarantee, was able to face the reality calmly. Purple really also needs a guarantee. The last 10 draws. White, 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 green, blue, purple, purple. Well, it was as expected. Something seems wrong. Hey, why are there 2 purple light balls? After reacting, Luo Xia felt relaxed all over. Sure enough, destiny is in my hands. Luo Xia happily began to check all the items. There were a total of 2 purple, 10 blue, 100 green, and 888 white. I won't go into detail about the white items. All kinds of poke balls, potions, berries, poke cubes, etc., are just put on the poke shop. The green items are 33 evolution stones of various types, 33 skill discs, 33 various carrying items, and 1 fearless Pokémon egg. Purple items, 1 Cocodora Pokémon egg and 1 Pokémon medical item. Fearless is a fighting type Pokémon with 3 ways of evolution, Flying Kick, Fast Punch, and Battle Dance. Zi Luo is 3 years old now and will develop in the direction of physical skills in the future. Fearless Boy is very suitable for Zi Luo. It just so happens that this person and this pet grew up together and can have a very strong bond. Rockhound is a rock-type Pokémon, and also has 3 evolutionary forms. It will evolve into 3 forms of werewolf by evolving during the day, night, and dusk respectively. The 3 forms of werewolf have the same racial stats, with the total being 487, and the distribution of the 6 racial stats is also very similar. The differences are mainly reflected in the Pokémon characteristics. The 2 werewolves are naturally one for each of Luoxia and Jiaoluo. Luoxia is going to evolve the werewolf into the day form, and the day form of the werewolf has the ability to move sand. Sand shifting, in sandstorm weather, the speed will be increased by 1 times. The last Pokémon is Kokora, its final form, Boscodora. Augustin is a rock and steel type Pokémon with a race stat of 530. Its physical attack reaches 110 and its physical defense reaches a terrifying 180. It can be said to be an invincible meat tank in reality. Luoxia is indeed very tempted, but Boscodora's positioning is the same as Bangla's. Rosa's Sandstorm team did not carry Boscodora's ship. In addition, since he had already promised Soya, Rosa decided to give Boscodora to Soya. Thinking of Soya's cute baby face, paired with a hunk like Boscodora. Seems good? Luoxia exited the system and couldn't wait to contact Soya and Carula using the Pokémon Encyclopedia, asking them to come to Luoxia's house as soon as possible to get the Pokémon eggs. The 2 people who received the message ran over in a hurry. Brother Luoxia, where is my Pokémon? Zhang Mai rushed in with messy hair. Mr. Luoxia, what kind of Pokémon is that? Carula adjusted her clothes in front of the door before walking into Luoxia's house. They are Pokémon eggs. These little guys are very talented. Luo Xia smiled softly at the 2 of them. Sanja, this Pokémon egg is yours, it's a Cocodora, you can check the illustrated book first. Garuru, this is a rock dog Pokémon egg. The other one is also a rock dog, and I'm keeping it for myself. You can also take a look at the illustrated information first. Luo Xia handed 2 Pokémon eggs to the 2 people. Chapter 15. Rock Dog, Cocodora. Wow, what a handsome Pokémon, thank you big brother, I will definitely repay you and do good things for you in the future. Zanja had starry eyes and hugged Luoxia excitedly. Mr. Luoxia, what form do you plan to evolve Rock Dog into? After reading the illustrated book, Carula asked with blushing cheeks. Luoxiajin gave me a rock dog. Our spirits are the same. Is this a confession? Should I accept it? Is it too early? But I can't refuse it at all. My dad will be angry if he finds out. He said I can't agree to Luo Xia before I turn 16. Damn it, Dad is so annoying. This makes things so difficult for me. The villain in Carula's heart bit his hand angrily. Well, I plan to evolve into the daytime form. Luo Xia pulled Suya off his body. Then I'll evolve into the daytime form as well. Shy Carula didn't dare to hug him directly like Suya did, and looked at Luoxia with anticipation. Looking at the shy expression on Carula's face, Luo Xia always felt that something was wrong. But he couldn't think of the reason, so Luo Xia simply stopped thinking about it. Little did Luo Xia know that Carula had already thought of a name for the child. At this moment, Carula was thinking to herself, will the first child of Luoxia and I be a son or a daughter? If it's a son, what should he be called? Well, why not just call me Gara? Oops, isn't this too obvious? Why not just call him Kankuro? If it's a daughter, just call her Tamari. While Karula was imagining the future, Suya was already impatient to open the incubator and take out the Pokémon egg. Feeling the shaking of the Pokémon egg in his hand, Zanja looked expectant. Karula, stop being dazed. Take out the Pokémon egg and hold it. Make sure the first thing the Pokémon sees when it is born is you. This way the Pokémon will regard you as its parents, making it easier to achieve a high bond. Luo Sha also took out the Pokémon egg and reminded Karula. Okay, Luosha-kun. Karula, whose fantasy was interrupted, came back to his senses and held the Pokémon egg in his arms. 5 minutes later, 3 Pokémon babies broke out of their shells. Name Kokodora. Gender male. Attributes steel, rock. Features hard head, even when using a move that causes reaction force, HP will not decrease. Level LV1. Individual 5V, HP 31, Attack 31, Defense 31, Special Attack 31, Special Defense 31, Speed 20. Skills Impact, Harden, Double-Edged Head Hammer, Inherited. The first one to come out was Kokodora. The power of the double-edged head hammer reaches 150, but the player itself will suffer from the reaction damage. It is the skill with the strongest attack power. With its hard head and double-edged head hammer, Kokodora can start from a young age and continue to be reckless until he grows up without any problem. It's called Brainless Rush. Name Rock Dog. Gender male. Attribute rock. Features sharp eyes, hit rate will not be reduced. Level LV1. Individual 4V, HP 31, Attack 31, Defense 29, Special Attack 26, Special Defense 31, Speed 31. Skills Impact, Glare, Recklessness, Inherited. Luosha's Rock Dog is the second to hatch. Rock Dog inherited the skill of Reckless Action, which is a small magical skill that can make the opponent's HP become the same as its own. When the Rock Dog is at a low point in health, then attack the opponent. That is a really fun scene to see. Name Rock Dog. Gender female. Attribute rock. Features sharp eyes, hit rate will not be reduced. Level LV1. Individual 4V, HP 31, Attack 31, Defense 31, Special Attack 21, Special Defense 29, Speed 31. Skills Bump, Glare, Make a Scene, Inherited. Karula's Rock Dog hatches last. Making a big trouble is an orange quality skill and also a top-level skill. After the 3 Pokémons finished eating the eggshells, they were taken back into the Pokeballs to rest. Luo Sha gave the exclusive training guide to Suya and Karura. Elves have a larval period of about 1 month, and training begins 1 month later. Ninja school is not very meaningful to us, so we can just go to the training ground together to train our spirits. Luo Sha invited the 2. No problem, brother Luosha. Zanja agreed immediately. As a top fan of Luosha, Zanja deeply understands one thing: if you follow Big Brother Luosha, you will have meat to eat. Naturally, as a top love-brained person, Karura also agreed. Oh, as for your question about what will happen to the ninja school then? This is serious training for them, not skipping classes. Skipping classes? Not happening. The Kazekage is the principal of the ninja school. Luo Sha is only a first-year student, but that does not prevent Luo Sha from becoming the head of the ninja school. Rasa already has the strength close to that of a Chunin. The only subject that Luo Sha is weak in is the ideological and political course. Luo Sha felt drowsy during every ideological and political class and could not learn anything at all. So during the first test, the clever Luo Sha used his ultimate move. The article My Master Kazekage received the only full score. After Shagu found out, he gave Luosha a loving lesson. Luo Sha knew he was wrong, but he didn't change. Luo Sha decided to write My Master is Fengying in the next ideological and political exam. Next time I will write My Wind Shadow Father. Next time I will write My Father is Fengying. Next time, next time. Even though I will get beaten, I can still get full marks. As Karula is the daughter of the chief of the Sand Clan, and Suya is the young chief of the main family, they naturally don't have to worry about the affairs of the ninja school at all. So the 3 of them happily skipped class together. A month later. Ninja school, 1st grade and 1 class. The head teacher, Shadiao, looked at the 3 empty seats and fell into deep thought. They are all little ancestors, what should I do? Waiting online, urgent. Sand Village, training ground number 1. Yukara, you spar with Kokodora. Rock Dog, you too spar. Huhu, you spar with Ishimaru. Luosha looked at the 6 little ones in front of him, let them fight first, and then did specific intensive training based on the battle situation. After a battle, Kira won the first game. Yuki Yuki, Yuki. Kira raised his little fist and ran towards Luosha happily with his short legs, while Suya was comforting Kokoda. Kokodora was ridiculed by Kira and ended up losing the fight. You can imagine how he felt. The sad and angry Kokodora climbed onto Zanja's head and bit him. Ah, it hurts, Kokodora, please get down quickly. Zhongmai's tears burst out in an arc, and he pulled Kokodora out with all his strength. Kokodora, yeah, I feel much better. Yukara, how can you taunt your opponent while you're fighting? Kokodora is not an enemy, but a partner. Luosha is giving Kira a strict education. Yuki. Yukara had tears in her eyes and an expression that said, you don't love me anymore, you scumbag. Luosha held his forehead with his hand as he felt a headache. Who did Yukara learn this acting skill from? Luosha had no idea. If Seigyu was here, he would notice that Yukara's expression at this moment was exactly the same as Rose's when he was criticized. Chapter 16, Wedding, Yekang. The 26th year of Sunagakure, December 12th. Today is a happy day, it is the wedding day of Jiao and Lien. Cho's son and his apprentice got married, which was definitely a big event in the Sand Village. Jiao is 18 years old this year. With the help of Nidoking and puppetry, as well as Cho's face, he successfully passed the Jonin assessment. After passing the Jonin assessment, Jiao boldly pursued love and confessed his love to Lien, whom he had secretly loved for 12 years. That year, Jiao was 6 years old. Cho brought back a beautiful sister and told Jiao that the beautiful sister would be his senior sister in the future. The beautiful sister is called Lien. Jiao and Lien hug each other. Jiao fell in love with her at first sight. The 8-year-old Lien has already taken shape, and Jiao is just right. Jiao fell into the arms of tenderness for the first time and never forgot it since then. Lien was born into a commoner family, and after showing excellent talent as a medical ninja, she was accepted as a disciple by Cho. Having grown up with Jiao, Lien had long seen through Jiao's thoughts. In other words, everyone around Jiao can see that Jiao likes Lien. Cho has been trying to bring the two together intentionally or unintentionally. However, Lien is stronger than Jiao, so Jiao makes up his mind to express his feelings to Lien only after they are on the same level. Cho was helpless. After Jiao got Nidoking, he finally started the Jonin examination. Upon hearing the news, Cho went to the examiner in person and had a friendly discussion with him. It doesn't matter whether Jiao can become a Jonin. What matters is that Cho wants to have a grandson. Jiao passed the test without any trouble. Examiner, the lives of workers are also lives. It is really difficult to let people go without leaving any trace. Then Cho stepped on the acceleration button and the development of things went at a rapid pace. On the day Jiao successfully confessed his love, Cho took out the wedding dress she had sewn herself 2 years ago and gave it to Jiao and Lien. Then he instructed Ebizo and 2 other disciples to prepare for the wedding and choose the nearest auspicious day for the wedding. Ebizo, when the elder sister opens her mouth, the younger brother runs himself to pieces. Disciple, when the teacher opens his mouth, the students run themselves to pieces. Jiao and Lien got married on December 12th. Luosha bought a Nidoran Pokémon egg in the mall as a gift from Shagut to the two of them for their marriage. Luosha had a premonition that Scorpion was about to arrive, but Scorpion was one of Luosha's younger brothers that he had reserved a long time ago. I give you Nidoran as a spirit, and you give me your son as your younger brother. That makes sense, right? Luosha thought this deal was a good deal. Not knowing what Luosha was thinking, Jiao happily took the Pokémon egg and gave it to Lien. Scorpio has shown extraordinary intelligence since he was young. Because his parents died in the war and Cho stayed on the front line for a long time, Scorpio felt lonely and insecure without anyone to accompany him, so he began to pursue eternal art. Now, Luosha's arrival is destined to change Scorpion's fate. Rasa could not guarantee whether Ku and Lien would survive the Second Shinobi War. After all, war is ever-changing and no one can predict the direction. Luo Xia can only try his best to use his foresight to protect Jia Yu and Lian from being killed by Heitake Sakumo. If the last two people die in the battle, Luo Xia will take over Scorpion, become Scorpion's stepfather, and train Scorpion to be a good young man. If the last two survive, Luo Xia will take over Scorpion, become Scorpion's teacher, and train Scorpion to be a good young man. A five good youth who loves the village, loves the people, loves the society, loves peace, and loves Luoxia. Wrong. He is a five good young man who loves the village, the people, the society, peace, and Fengying. Luo Plantong Xia thought it was perfect. After attending Jiao and Lian's wedding, Luo Xia met a little girl on his way home. The little girl was wearing a coarse linen dress that had been washed until it turned white, and she stood out from the crowd. This is the central area of the Sand Village, where all the major families are stationed, and everyone coming and going is a ninja. The little girl kept stopping passers-by, saying something with a pleading look on her face, and after being rejected, she continued to look for her next target. Until Luo Xia passed by. "Please help me, my mother was kidnapped by a jonin, I don't know what to do." The girl's voice was tearful, her eyes were full of helplessness, and she spoke to Luo Xia in a trembling voice. "My father was beaten severely by him and is still lying down. If he doesn't get medical treatment in time, I'm afraid he won't survive today. But I don't have money to pay for the medical expenses. Can you give me some money?" Luo Xia doesn't know whether it's true or not, but it really sounds like a melodramatic scene in a TV drama. In the TV series, the protagonist was kind-hearted and helped the helpless passers-by. When faced with this situation in real life, most people choose to stay away from it. This is too much like extortion. Luo Xia looked at the girl and felt that she looked familiar. "What's your name?" Luo Xia asked. "My name is Yakang." The girl replied. Yakang. Luo Xia had noticed Yakang before. He was one of the future cage-level warriors of the Sand Village, the Scorch Release user Yakang. But Yakang was born into a commoner family. Although Sand Village is a village, its actual area is no different from that of a town. There are 2 ninjas and more than 20 civilians. It was difficult to find Yakang, and Luo Xia was unable to explain to Shagu why he was specifically looking for a little girl. Luo Xia can only wait for Yakang to appear himself before making contact with him. "It is a pleasant surprise to meet you now. I can help you. Come with me and I will take you to the hospital to find a medical ninja." Luo Xia decided to take this opportunity to recruit Yakang under his command. "Thank you so much, benefactor. What is your name? I will definitely repay you in the future." Yakang bowed to Luo Xia gratefully. "My name is Luo Xia, there's no need to repay me. It's just a small favor, I'm glad I can help you." Luo Xia went to the Sunagakure hospital to meet Lian and explained his purpose to Lian. Lian rescued Yakang's father. As for the jonin who kidnapped Yakang's mother, his name was Hui Ren, and he was a special jonin. In the end, he was naturally imprisoned by Luoxia in the Sunagakure prison and sentenced to lifelong labor reform. Yakang successfully rescued his mother, and the mother and daughter hugged each other and cried loudly. Luo Zhenji Shat, what a heartwarming picture. Yakang's mother is 70% similar to the future Yakang, and is really beautiful. No wonder Hui Ren couldn't control himself and did evil. I don't know what the outcome of this incident was in the original book. But given the hatred of evil and loyalty to Sunagakure shown by Hayakaramari, someone should come to the rescue. However, he was intercepted by Luo Xia, and now Luo Xia has become Yakang's benefactor. Luo Xia felt very happy to have a future beautiful and powerful shadow-level heroine under his command. Yakang is 6 years old this year. He has never participated in a talent test and has not attended a ninja school. Luo Xia helped Yakang to take a talent test, and Yakang tested out the 2 attributes of wind and fire. Afterwards, Luo Xia took Yakang to find Shagu. With Shagu's strange expression, Yakang successfully enrolled in school and became a member of Class 1, Grade 1. Shagu, he is only 6 years old, and he has kidnapped another daughter-in-law? Are you worthy of Karula? How am I going to face Caltex tomorrow with this old face of mine? But he is worthy of being my son. He knows how to find a wife at such a young age, he. In this way, Yakang became a member of Luo Xia's team, and Luo Xia had a new follower. Luo Shat also properly settled Yakang's parents and arranged for them to work as clerks in the Pokémon shop. Chapter 17. 3 years. Time flies like an arrow. 3 years passed in the blink of an eye. Rasa has become a 9-year-old boy. He has successfully mastered the magnetic escape technique and possesses the strength of a Jonin. After the bonus of bonds, he has reached the threshold of an elite Jonin. A lot has happened in these 3 years. On December 26 of the 12th year of Sunagakure, Rasa's brother-in-law, Yoshimaru, was born. Luo Shat, little brother +1. On October 27, the 10th year of Sunagakure, Keiu and Lien gave birth to a child named Sasori. Luo Shat, little brother +1. Cho has been promoted to a grandmother. Every day she either swims or fishes or shows off her scorpion in the village. On June 29, the 6th year of Sunagakure, Magan's son Maki was born. Luo Shat, little brother +1. In addition, Luosha has opened up many new habitats, and the Pokémon's footprints are all over the Kingdom of Wind. 1 purple habitat, wind-dried habitat. There are about 5 Pokémon in the Fengon habitat, including Radon, Tyrannosaurus, Boscodora, Raptor, Steelix, and other Pokémon. There lives a dominant Pokémon in the habitat Steelix. An ordinary Steelix is 9.2 meters long, while this dominant Steelix reaches 20 meters in length. Steelix's level is as high as LV71, which is the strength of an early cage level. As the strongest wind shadow in history, Shagu has at least the strength of a late-stage shadow. After a thrilling battle, Shagu successfully defeated Steelix. Maybe not earth-shattering, but it is truly earth-shaking. Steelix, who would be pulled out and beaten by Shagu every time he went underground, said, "Stop hitting me, stop hitting me, isn't it okay for me to surrender?" Steelix obediently entered the Pokeball. 2 purple habitat, Fengon habitat. There are about 4 Pokémon in the Fengon habitat, including the Archaeopteryx, the Flame Chicken, the Warcone Dragon, the Ancient Armor, the Spiny Ammonite and other Pokémon. The overlord of Fengon habitat is Flame Chicken. The overlord Flame Chicken is 3 meters tall, 1.1 meters taller than the ordinary Flame Chicken. Blaziken lives in Fengon Oasis. He possesses the strength of an elite Jonin at level 69 and was also subdued by Shagu. 3 blue habitat, Modong habitat. There are no overlord Pokémon in the blue habitat. The strongest Pokémon in the Modong habitat is a Dungia with the strength of LV61, which was subdued by Gadex. 4 blue habitat, Mobei habitat. The strongest being in the Mobei habitat is an armored bird with a strength of LV63, who was subdued by Mingo. 5 blue habitat, Monin habitat. The strongest being in the Monin habitat is a Slash Commander, who has a strength of LV63 and was subdued by Zoro. In addition to these 5 habitats, there are 4 blue habitats, Daibei, Dinan, Dixie, and Daidong. The strongest in these 4 habitats are all LV59 Radon, who were subdued by Qi Luo, Abizo, Zone Yu, and Lai Feng respectively. Today, the Kingdom of Wind has 2 purple habitats, 8 blue habitats, and 50 green habitats. There are more than enough habitats in the Land of Wind to fully meet the needs of the Sand Village. The remaining area is used to place higher-level habitats, orange and red habitats. The changes in the Wind Kingdom over the past 3 years have attracted the attention of the entire ninja world. The 4 major ninja villages went from being disdainful at the beginning to becoming solemn. There are too many psychic beasts. Every ninja in the Sand Village now has a Pokémon, and some ninjas are already equipped with 6. Spies from various countries went to the Pokémon shop in the Sand Village to buy Pokeballs and brought them back to their own countries. But no matter how much research is done, no results are obtained. Luo Sha had extremely strict control over the Pokémon Encyclopedia, and only gave it to 9 minister-level officials and a few close confidants of the Sand Village. The purpose is to prevent it from being obtained by spies and allow the 4 major ninja villages to obtain more information about the Pokémons. There are more and more spies in the Sand Village in the past 3 years, especially around the Pokémon shop. A large number of them are caught every day. The interrogation department that Ebizo is in charge of has seen a huge increase in business volume. The ninjas in the entire department seem to be becoming more and more perverted, with gloomy faces and sneering smiles all day long. Walking on the streets of Sand Village, you can immediately tell which ninjas work in the interrogation department. As for the reason, only the ninjas in the interrogation department laughed he. When Cho came back from a 1-month vacation in the oasis, she found that Ebizo's entire style had changed. In the past 3 years, the 4 major ninja villages have tried their best, even conducting direct diplomatic negotiations, but they were rejected one by the Sand Village. The 4 major ninja villages are now ready to make a move and are testing each other. As long as one ninja village declares war on the Sand Village, the other 3 ninja villages are very likely to follow suit. The technology to force the Sand Village to hand over the Poke Ball. But the land of the Wind Kingdom is worthless, and it would be unwise to go to war just for a Poke Ball. The 3 ninja villages of Iwagakure, Kumagakure, and Kirigakure want to attack Konoha, and they absolutely cannot accept wasting their resources on the Sand Village. The major ninja villages are now engaged in an endless war of words, but no one is taking action. In addition to the interrogation department, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was also extremely busy, exchanging trash talk with the foreign ministries of the other 4 villages every day. The difference is that the ninjas from the interrogation department are becoming more and more gloomy, while the ninjas from the Foreign Affairs Department are becoming more and more energetic. As for why the Sand Village's Ministry of Foreign Affairs can withstand such great pressure, it is naturally because the Konoha Village's Ministry of Foreign Affairs is so powerful. As long as the Konoha Ministry of Foreign Affairs gets involved in the war of words, the target of the siege will change from the Sand Village to the Konoha Village. The Sand Village went from 1 vs 3 to 4 vs 1. Sand Village, Konoha, you are such a smart person, no, you are a very good person. Konoha Village, we clearly agreed to work together to target the Sand Village, but you 3 scumbags deceived my feelings. Konoha has had 5 foreign ministers in 3 years, but he has never scolded the other 4 ninja villages. The 5 major ninja villages prepared for a military competition while cursing each other to increase the number of ninjas in the village. Today, the Sand Village has more than 2 ninjas, and almost everyone has a Pokémon. 45 Elite Jonin, 90 Jonin, 322 Special Jonin, over 8,000 Chunin and many Genin. Many Chinins become Special Jonins with the help of Pokémons, and many Genins become Chinins with the help of Pokémons. Not only did the number of Sand Village ninjas increase dramatically, but their strength also increased dramatically. The ancient people of Sand Village are in high spirits when good things happen. Seeing the prosperity of Sand Village, their faces are beaming all day long and they become more and more motivated at work. The Pokémon that Shago currently owns are as follows: ALV-69 Charmeleon, ALV-69 Flame Chicken, ALV-71 Steelix, and a Sinfang. Luo Shad also gave Shagu a Keystone and a Charizard Mega Evolution Stone. The bond between Shagu and Charizard has evolved. The strength of Super Charizard has reached LV-71. Although it can only last for 30 minutes, it can at least enter the Shadow level. As for Flame Chicken and Steelix, they are not yet able to super evolve. Shagu needs to develop more tacit understanding with them. On Luasha's side, Luasha's team of 6 Pokémon is full and all placed in the bond position. Kira evolved into Shakira. Shakira needs a huge amount of energy to evolve into Banjira. This energy is accumulated during the Yogira period and the Shakira period is used to digest the energy. Once digested, Shakira will evolve into the Desert Tyrant Banjira. The more energy you accumulate, the greater your strength will be after evolution. Many creatures surviving in the wild do not accumulate enough Yukara energy and stop at the Shakira stage. Yukara of the Luasha family has been raised in luxury since childhood and has eaten countless delicacies from land and sea. Luo Shad also put the Stone of Unchanged Ange on Yukira to prevent it from evolving prematurely. It was not until Yukara had eaten 2 mines that Rosa took the Stone of Unchanged Ange and allowed Yukara to evolve into Shakira. Chapter 18, Sand Hidden Group 1. The other 5 Pokémons in the team have also reached the strength of Special Jonin and Jonin. Name Dragonhead Hamster. Gender male. Attributes Steel, Ground. Features Power of Sand. During sandstorms, the power of rock, ground, and steel skills increases by 50%. Level LV48, Special Jonin. Individual 5V, HP 31, Attack 31, Defense 31, Special Attack 10, Special Defense 31, Speed 31. Skills: High Speed Rotation, Metal Claws, Rock Collapse, Digging, Earthquake, Ground Fissure, Sword Dance. The Dragonhead Diglett is one of the core outputs of the Sandstorm team, with an attack value of 135. After 3 sword dances to increase the attack to level 6, coupled with the Sandstorm weather, 1 claw can kill a kid. Now the Dragon Head Diglett is particularly strong as a Jonin, and after full amplification, one claw can kill an elite Jonin in seconds. Name Megalodon. Gender none. Attributes Steel, Psychic. Characteristics Eternally pure body, the ability will not be reduced due to the opponent's moves or characteristics. Level LV 45, Special Jonin. Individual 6V, HP 31, Attack 31, Defense 31, Special Attack 31, Special Defense 31, Speed 31. Skills Telekinesis, Metal Claws, Bullet Fist, Mind Hammer, Electromagnetic Levitation, Cannon Light Cannon, Psychic Power. The Dragon Head Hamster is of purple quality, and the Metagross is of orange quality, both of which were purchased by Luosha from the Pokémon shop. After the first team was full, Luosha began to form a second team. Luosha's second team Pokémon included LV39 Gardevoir, LV40 Gengar, LV40 Frog, and LV25 Seduc. Gardevoir's instant movement is used to escape. Gengar has been staying in Luosha's shadow to protect Luosha. Mosquito Repellent Frog King and Pikachu are specially used by Luosha to bring rain. Luosha's friends have also made great progress in the past 3 years. In addition to Karura and Suya, Luosha's team now includes Yakang and Shira. Luosha's Sagakure has a new member, which is a good thing. Yoshimaru, Sasori, and Maki are still infants, so they are naturally reserve members of the group. The first member of the group is Karura. Karula became more and more beautiful, her personality remained as gentle as ever, and she always regarded herself as Luosha's wife. Author, I'm happy again, brother. Karula was deeply influenced by Rosa and has become Rosa's shape. Caltex's heart was bleeding. 3 years ago, the well-behaved daughter came back from Luosha's house and said that she wanted to marry Luosha, and asked Gadish to prepare the dowry and go to propose marriage. Caltex looked devastated. Although I regard Luosha as my future son-in-law, my daughter is only 6 years old. Luosha, you are a beast. Before Jiaoluo was 6 years old, Jiadeshi sent his daughter to Luosha's house every day. After Karula turned 6 years old, she followed Luosha around every day. I even learned to skip classes. What the hell is getting married now? Caltex couldn't stop it and almost fainted from suffocating. 3 years have passed, and Caltex is completely unable to change Karura's love-sick mind, and has already laid down. Never mind, let's send Karula to Luosha as soon as he reaches adulthood. Karuna is also 9 years old now. He possesses 3 types of chakra, fire, wind, and earth, and his strength has reached the level of Chunin. As for Pokémons, all of Garuru's Pokémons were given by Luosha. All 6 Pokémons are purple quality with excellent talents. The second member of the Tian group is Zonja. Suya is 10 years old and has reached the elite Chunin level. Suya's strength grew faster than Karula's because under the guidance of Raza, Suya successfully awakened the magnetic release. Suya's mother also participated in the second generation's magnetic escape experiment, but unfortunately she did not awaken the magnetic escape. But the bloodline of magnetic escape has been passed down. Magnetic release comes from the one-tail Shikaku, and unlike other bloodline limits, it is not a fusion of 2 fixed chakra attributes. Shagu's magnetic escape technique is Sand Iron, which is a fusion of Earth attribute and Lightning attribute. Luosha's magnetic escape technique is Gold Sand, which is a fusion of Earth and Wind attributes. Suya has 3 types of chakra, Earth, Fire, and Yin. His awakened magnetic chakra is Red Iron, which is a fusion of Earth and Fire attributes. Official data shows that Luosha has 4 types of chakras, Feng, Shui, Tu, and Yin, but no lightning. The 2 Kazekage's magnetic escape techniques are also different, and this book has a private design for magnetic escape techniques. Luosha discovered the blind spot. Yin attribute and Earth attribute. Magnetic escape comes from the one-tailed beast Shikaku, and the tailed beasts are the product of the combination of Yin and Yang escape, and Shikaku happens to have Earth attribute chakra. Luosha speculated that the key to awakening magnetic escape is whether one has Earth attribute and Yin attribute chakra. When the Earth attribute is fused with another attribute chakra, and the Yin attribute is used as the middle, magnetic escape is formed. Suya became the 3rd existing owner of the magnetic release in the Sand Village, which made Suya very happy. The quick-wit Zone Yu felt that Zone Mi also had a chance to compete for the position of Kazekage. Just think about it, of course. Because Zone Yu and Zone Mi had a long talk by candlelight, Zhong Yu sadly discovered that his son had also become the shape of Luo Shat. On the left, he says Brother Luosha, on the right, he says Brother Luosha. Zhong Ya would rather sever the father-son relationship and follow his elder brother Luo Shat until death. Zhong Yu wanted to slap himself 3 years ago, wondering why he was so eager to send his son to Luo Shat to be his younger brother. Doesn't Suya know that a younger brother who doesn't want to be the big brother is not a good younger brother? Zhong Yu almost vomited blood and felt the same as Caltex. But Zhong Yu seems to be even more miserable. Even though Caltex lost his daughter, he still has his son Yoshimaru. Zhong Yu only has one son, Zhong Yat. Zhong Mi is also the young patriarch of the Zhong family and the future patriarch. This is really a case of not only losing a son but also destroying the entire family. Wouldn't Suya take the Su family as a dowry and enter the Luosha family? Author, Big Fog? Doghead saves life. Suya's magnetic escape also needs to be used in a desert environment to work best. Zanja can extract hematite from sand. After experiments, hematite has a higher density than gold and iron, but it is also more difficult to extract. In other words, Suya's magnetic escape is not suitable for large-scale killing ninjutsu, and a group ninjutsu will drain Suya's chakra. However, Suya's magnetic escape is more powerful in terms of single-target killing power and has more room for development. If you want to solve Suya's shortcomings and increase his chakra, there is indeed a solution, which is to become a tailed beast Jinchuriki. But this is obviously impossible. Shikaku is staying in Fukushima's body, and it will take at least 18 years before Fukushima's death. Besides, the Sand Village's sealing technique is so terrible that once you become Shikaku's Jinchuriki, you will never be able to live in peace. Neither Su nor Raza would let Suya suffer as Shikaku Jinchuriki. You know, Shikaku, that stinky raccoon cat, not only doesn't sleep himself, but also doesn't let the human sacrifice sleep. If Shikaku were to live in Suya's body, Suya's small body would not be able to handle it. Only Master Bonfuku has strong self-control and can withstand Shikaku's noise. Chapter 19, Sand Hidden Group 2. Suya now studies with the magnetic escape expert Raza every day, and has successfully developed the B-level ninjutsu, magnetic escape, red iron shotgun and the A-level ninjutsu, magnetic escape, red iron raise non. That's right, it's the raise non. This was created by Raza, the successor of the Kazekage of Sand Village, the only contractor in the spirit world, the richest man in Sand Village, the genius of magnetic escape, the master of ninjutsu development, and the master of spirits. The unmarked A-level ninjutsu shocked the entire Sand Village. As soon as Luo Sha made a move, Sand Village trembled 3 times. Now, of the Sand Village group, Raza, Karura, Suya, and Hagira have all mastered the raise non. And Shiro is just 6 years old, and it is not yet time for her to learn a level ninjutsu. Raza also made innovations to the raise non, combining it with the magnetic release technique to create the magnetic release raise non. The power of the magnetic release raise non is even stronger, and after testing, its power barely reaches the S level. In fact, the power of the raise non alone does not reach the level of a level ninjutsu, but because it is an unmarked ninjutsu, its rating is raised to A. Now that the power of the magnetic style raise non has reached the S level threshold, it is undoubtedly classified as S level. Although only magnetic ninjas can practice it, Luo is at least someone who has developed S level ninjutsu. In fact, Luo Sha also developed the D-level ninjutsu, 1000 Years of Killing. Konoha's 1000 Years of Assassin was successfully renamed Sand Village's 1000 Years of Assassin. Shagu looked at the scroll of the 1000 Years of Killing ninjutsu and fell into a long silence. Then they burned the scrolls and launched a struggle session and ideological education against Luo Sha. Shagu, no, we need to strengthen the ideological education work in the ninja school. Students, what did I do wrong? Why should I bear the consequences? In addition to Zanja's own strength, Zanja's spirit strength is as follows. These Pokémons have one thing in common, they are all Steel-type Pokémons. For some reason, Zanja has a baby face and a soft and kind personality, but he has a heart that wants to stand still and output. Ever since Suya got Kokita, he has been completely obsessed with Steel-type Pokémon. The Steel-type Pokémon's majestic figure really gives people a sense of security. After Suya awakens the magnetic release, Suya's magnetic release, red iron armor can also be worn by the Pokémon. The Pokémon in armor is so hot. However, the chakra consumption was too great. After putting on the armor for Boskodora, Suya became weak and could only become Boscodora's pendant and shout 666. Choyunibio Boskodora, Master, please put on the armor for me quickly, you wait behind, I will go and kill people randomly. Armor Hero, combine. Luosha could naturally equip the Pokémons with armor, but there was no need to do so. Because Rosa was not as weak as Suya, Rosa drove the Gundam by himself. After learning all the magnetic ninjutsu from Shagu, Rosa developed new ninjutsu. S-level ninjutsu, magnetic escape technique, giant god soldier. A large amount of gold dust surrounds Luosha, and the gold dust generates magnetic force to form a gold dust giant. It is extremely difficult to break the giant's defense unless it can be demagnetized. The giant's weapons can change at will, including knives, swords, halberds, bows and other weapons. There is nothing that Luosha can't do, except what you can't think of. With Rosa's 0.8 calorie chakra, he can now maintain a 5-meter gold sand giant for 3 minutes. Shagu also learned this trick. With the chakra capacity of a Shakukage, the sand iron giant can last for 30 minutes. Ever since Shako used the God Warrior for the first time, he has been eager to find people to fight with every day to show off his Gundam. But no one can be found, and the only one who can fight with Shagu, Cho, is a weakling. Looking at the Gundam, Suya shed tears of envy. The red iron that Suya sucked out was only enough to form a sword in the giant's hand. I'm afraid you won't be able to learn this trick even if you reach the level of a shadow. Zonja, it's a targeting, it's a naked targeting. Although Suya's ability to develop ninjutsu is limited, he also wants to learn cool ninjutsu like the gold dust giant. So he pesters Rasa all day long, trying to persuade him to develop new uses for red iron. The villain in Carula's heart was jumping up and down, this guy is such an eyesore, someone come and chase him away. Luosha thought about it, but couldn't come up with a good idea. After all, you can only suck out such a small amount of hematite, what can you do? It would be better to develop S-level ninjutsu that can kill a single target. The third member of the Sand Village is Yakang. Yakang's progress is also significant. In the original work, Yakang is a person who can fuse the Scorch release on his own. Unlike Suya, Xiao Fiwu relies on Luosha for everything. With the advice of Rasa, Yakang successfully integrated the Shoku release Kekiai limit and became one of the top geniuses in the Sand Village. After learning the news, Shagu immediately found a teacher for Yakang. Only then did Rasa know that the Sand Village also had a Shokyuton Kekiai ninja Pakura. Pakula was nearly 90 years old and had been retired for 30 years. Naturally, 9-year-old Luosha didn't know this person. After learning that Yakang possessed the Scorch release, Pakura excitedly climbed out of the bed. Help me up. He no longer looks like the old man he used to be. Pakula's children and grandchildren, Dad/Grandpa, aren't you bedridden and need our care all day? Why are you up again? Lie down quickly. Ignoring the shocked, bewildered and dumbfounded expressions of his children and grandchildren, Pakula taught Yakang everything he had learned in his life. Yakang was reluctant to part with Luosha and the others, so after learning several Scorch release ninjutsu as quickly as possible, he ran back to the team. Pakula, little girls nowadays are not reserved at all. Not like me when I was young, blah blah blah. Today, Yakang and Suya are equally powerful and have reached the level of elite Chunin. The spirits that Yakang has are as follows. Yakang is fond of fire Pokémons, so Luosha will naturally try his best to meet Yakang's requirements. Because of Luosha's kindness in the past, Yakang's attitude towards Luosha is very different from that towards other people. In the eyes of others, Yakang is a violent woman. She is a woman with super strength and hot temper. As a result, Yakang was given the nickname Sand Village Pepper by his classmates at the ninja school, which was in stark contrast to Karura's Sand Village Flower. After all, one is a name of praise and the other is a nickname of fear. After Yakang learned his nickname, he beat up those students again, making each of them go home with a big bump on their head. But in front of Luosha, Yakang is as gentle as Jialuluo. Anyone who dares to say Yakang's nickname in front of Luosha will be punished by Yakang afterwards. Students with bumps on their heads have a lot to say about this. Luosha naturally knew what was going on, but of course he had to pretend that he was unaware. Yakang appears gentle in front of him. What if he is exposed and he stops pretending in the future? Karura was aware of Yakang's performance. As a top love-brained person, Karula did not cry, make a fuss, or commit suicide, but forced Luosha to swear to marry only her. Chapter 20, Deep Blue is giving away the cheat, Rain Class. Karura's inner villain, a man as good as Rasa-kun will definitely be swooned by a bunch of sluts. Just like Kazekage-sama, he is the dream lover of the middle-aged women in the village. I have to be generous and make Luosha feel guilty. Well, it's not impossible to bring Yakang on board. The two of us can work together to squeeze Luosha dry, and Luosha will no longer look for women outside. And I can't take action against those women who approach Luosha, but Yakang's sister can. Let's see who dares to approach Luosha in the future. The Empresses in the Palace version of Jiaoluo is now online. You never know how unique the thought processes of a top love brain are. Karula bluntly expressed her willingness to share Luosha with Yakang, and together they kept out other sluts and shocked Yakang. Yakang, this woman is only 9 years old. With this level, she can travel through time and space to become the queen in a Qing dynasty drama. Is this world too magical or am I too naive? Yakang had never thought about these things, because Luosha's kindness was not enough. Luosha had given Yakang so many powerful Pokémons. Yakang decided to be Luosha's assistant for the rest of his life to repay Luosha. Yakang was confused by Karura's proposal and didn't know how to respond. Karula thought that Yakang had agreed, and from then on she became as close to Yakang as sisters, and the family lived happily in harmony. Redundant Suya. Of course, now that Zai Luo has joined, Zhongyan no longer seems redundant. Zai Luo is just 6 years old and is in the first grade of ninja school. Now he is still a reserve ninja, equivalent to level 1. The fearless boy who grew up with Zai Luo evolved into Fast Puncher with the strength of LV29. Fearless boy was determined to protect Zai Luo, so his defense grew faster and he eventually evolved into Fast Fist Boy. Zai Luo's second Pokémon is the Fire Chick given to him by Luosha when he entered school. Fire Chick is still a baby Pokémon and does not participate in training. In the past 3 years, not only did Luosha and his other 3 improve rapidly in strength, but their Pokémons also improved rapidly. Except for Ebizo's cheating Crystal Lamp Spirit, Luosha's Pokémons are upgraded obviously faster than others. The reason why Luosha's Pokémons can level up so quickly is naturally because of the system. March 27 RD, the 1th year of Sunagakure. The time-traveling god wrote back to Luosha. Luosha clicked on the email. To Luosha. Luosha boy, I was too busy recently. You know, the time travel department has just been established, so it is inevitable that there will be a lot of business. Now that I have a 1-day holiday for the Chinese New Year, I just saw your email. You are indeed someone that this great god has high hopes for. Your godfather is moved by your sincerity, and your godfather is waiting for you to take care of me in my old age. Lucky boy, congratulations on being selected. Recently, the technical department has developed a new software called the Auto-Play system. It was originally intended for the next batch of time travelers. Now the system is still being debugged. You can try it first, just as your godfather's New Year's gift to you. Attachment, Hang Up System Beta version 1.0. Luosha clicked to receive. Beep, the system is updating, please be patient. Ding, the Pokémon System Ninja World Adaptation version 2.0 is now online. Hello, host. I am Xiao AI. It is my honor to serve you. The system has been updated and a new idle function has been added. The host can put 6 Pokémons in the idle state, and the idle Pokémons can move freely in the outside world. Genin level Pokémons can upgrade 10 levels a year, Chunin level Pokémons can upgrade 5 levels a year, Jonin level Pokémons can upgrade 3 levels a year, and Cage level and above Pokémons can upgrade 1 level a year. Luosha put his Pokémons into the idle position to speed up the level increase of the Pokémons. The biggest function of the hang up function is that it can directly break through the bottleneck of the Pokémons. It's a pity that you can only hang up your own Pokémons, otherwise you can put Shago's Charizard and Flame Chicken in the hang up column, and you can become a shadow level strongman in a year. Luosha hung up 6 Pokémons and was deeply moved. He didn't expect that his adoptive father would reply and give him new hangings. As expected, I, Luosha, have come this far thanks to my own efforts. As for the cheats, I worked hard to get them. Luosha picked up his pen and wrote a 10,000-word thank you letter. My godfather, please accept my greetings. I have received your New Year gift, but I am short of money, so I can only write a letter to express my gratitude and concern for you. You are like the bright sun, and I am the sunflower, always following your light. Every word you say is like an imperial decree, which enlightens me, every decision you make is extremely wise, which makes me, blah blah blah. Luo Xia put down his pen, breathed a sigh of relief, and sent the email. The author read the letter from side to side, from top to bottom, and every word in it conveys the meaning of Godfather, please hang up. It is now July 29 ND of the 7th year of Sunagakure, and Luo Xia still hasn't received a reply from the time-traveling god. During the Luoxia period, he wrote to the time travel master every week without fail, hoping that the time travel master could still remember him and send him a copy of any new cheats. Luo Xia, Deep Blue, where are you? The channel is out of tune, let's start over. Luo Xia, Godfather, where are you? After 3 years of development, the entire Sand Village has taken on a new look. The Sand Village is located in the desert and there is almost no rain all year round. The arrival of the Pokémons made it possible to change the weather in the Sand Village. The rain-making properties of the mosquito-repellent Frog King can change the weather, but the reality is not as simple as Luo Xia thought. In the vast desert of the Kingdom of Wind, the energy required to produce rainfall is too great. Luo Xia's Frog King is now level 40 and can only cause rainfall in an area of 50 square meters. If the rainfall area is expanded, the rain will evaporate in mid-air. If one isn't enough, then get a few more. At Luoxia's suggestion, Shagu established the Rainfall Squad. Luoxia's Frog King is the leader of the Rainfall Squad and is now an in-system Pokémon in the Sand Village. The Pokémons within the system are better than 99% of the Pokémons. The Rain Squad consists of the Frog Clan and the Duck Clan. They live in the oasis behind the Sand Village and keep Cho company every day. The Sand Village provides them with delicious food and drinks. They only need to go on duty once every 3 days to bring rain to the Sand Village. The Seduc family has moisture characteristics, which can increase the moisture in the air and help the mosquito-repellent Frog King expand the range of rainfall. Both Mosquito Coolant King and Mosquito Coolant Tadpole have the hidden characteristic of swimming freely. As long as they are evolved into Mosquito Coolant Frog King using the Certificate of King, they will have the characteristic of making it rain. If the Sand Village is willing, they can use the Water Stone and the King's Certificate to quickly turn the mosquito-repellent Tadpole into a mosquito-repellent Frog King. But that would seriously consume the potential of the mosquito-repellent Tadpole. Luo Xia naturally wouldn't see this happen. Luo Xia stipulated that Mosquito Incense Kun must reach LV 30 before he can use the King's Certificate to evolve. Once the Rainfall class was established, it became a star class. Both ninjas and ordinary residents of the Sand Village love them very much. Chapter 21. As long as the Rainfall Squad walks on the streets of Sand Village, they will receive a lot of candies. Among them, the strange Seduc is the most loved by the villagers of Sand Village. He can't swim, has a dull look in his eyes, and the hair on his head shakes when he walks. He also runs around in the Sand Village every day. That's right, this Seduc belongs to Rosa. Ordinary Seduc only has blue quality, but this Seduc is somewhat extraordinary. Its full name is Xioxia's Seduc, and its quality has reached purple. Name Physical Duck. Gender Male. Attributes Water, Psychic. Features Moisture, Free and Easy. Level LV 25. Individual 5V, HP 31, Attack 1, Defense 31, Special Attack 31, Special Defense 31, Speed 31. Skills Tail Wagging, Telekinesis, Petrification, Instant Amnesia, Self-Suggestion, and Mental Hammer. Seduc doesn't know any water-based skills, but is extremely talented in psychic skills. Luo Xia and Xiao Xia fell into the same dilemma, and no matter what Seduc said, he couldn't understand. Only when its head is hit will Seduc suddenly become smart and understand Rosa's instructions. Since Seduc was difficult to train, Luoxia placed it in the Rainfall class. As a result, it accidentally became the favorite of the Sand Village. He is worthy of being called the Duck God. The high popularity of the Rainfall class makes the Firefighting class and the Landscaping class next door jealous. The Firefighting Squad was founded by Shagu. The members of the Firefighting team are the Wubo clan. Currently, the Firefighting team has 5 Swamp Kings and 55 Wubos. The Wubo clan was ordinary, but relying on the attributes of land and water, they turned serfs into singing serfs and became the superior people in the system. The members of the greening class are the Lottie Kappa clan and the Menga Cactus clan. The Menga Cactus tribe is responsible for planting cacti in the outer desert areas, while the Lottie Kappa tribe is responsible for expanding the oasis and planting more vegetation. Although they are in the same system, the greening team only works 4 hours a day and their workload is much greater than that of the rainfall team and the firefighting team. Even so, the Pokémons who sign up for the greening classes are always full every year. If you want to enter the system, you have to go through 3 steps: registration, interview, recruitment. Not many Pokémons signed up for the rainfall class, because the registration requirements stated, rainfall characteristics required. A large number of Pokémons were wiped out. The frogs without hidden traits and the Seducts without moisture traits were not even able to register. They could only become the summoned beasts of the ninja and go to fight. This is in stark contrast to their fellow tribesmen who sunbathe in the oasis every day. All I can say is that Pokémons are different from each other. In addition to the official Pokémon organization in the village center, there is also an Pokémon organization in state-owned enterprises. No, it's the Pokémon Code of the village-owned enterprise. The Flame-Breathing Desert Transport Company is the first village-owned company in the Sand Village. There are now 5,000 employees, each of whom is equipped with a fire-breathing camel. In addition to being responsible for the transportation of all materials going to and from the Sand Village, the Fire Camel Desert Transport Company also carries out other businesses. Responsible for transporting tourists from all over the Wind Country to and from the Sand Village. Charizards live in both the purple and blue habitats. The first Pokémon that Sego got was a Charizard, and the Pokémon that first appeared in the Sand Village was also a Charizard. The Sand Village ninjas' enthusiasm for the fire-breathing camel is unimaginable. The fire-breathing camels in the habitat had long been captured by the sand ninjas. As long as there was news of wild fire-breathing camels, it would attract a large number of sand ninjas. Nowadays, there are no more fire-breathing camels in the wild. All the fire-breathing camels are kept in the fire-breathing camel tribe in the Sand Village. The territory of the fire-breathing camel tribe continued to expand. Now the area between the Sand Village and the Great Oasis is all allocated to the fire-breathing camels to live in. The fire-breathing camel has become a beautiful business card of the Sand Village. The increase in the number of fire-breathing camels completely solved the problem of difficult transportation and laid the foundation for the economic development of Sand Village. The second village has a company, the Messenger Bird Postal Express Company. In the past, communications in the Sand Village were handled by ninjas. Currently, the communications in the Sand Village are handled by messenger birds. In a lottery, Luosha drew a messenger bird Pokémon egg, green, 1. Luosha discovered a new world. However, messenger birds could not be born in the Pokémon habitat of the Wind Kingdom. Bird Country is okay. The Bird Kingdom is located to the north of the Wind Kingdom and is a buffer zone between the Wind Kingdom and the Earth Kingdom. Therefore, Luosha placed an Pokémon habitat, green, in the Bird Kingdom. Luosha named it the Bird Habitat. As Luosha expected, there were nearly 100 messenger birds in the Torrican habitat, and they were all taken over by the Sand Village. Because communication has always been the responsibility of the Umbu, Shagu assigned messenger birds to the Umbu ninjas. The first batch of messenger birds successfully infiltrated the Sand Village and became noble Pokémon communications soldiers. After the messenger birds multiplied and thrived in the Sand Village, the redundant messenger birds no longer had their regular positions in the center of the village. At Luosha's suggestion, Shagu established the Messenger Bird Postal Express Company to be responsible for civilian communications. After a large expansion, these poor messenger birds all had village-level organizations. The company is registered under the name of Shagu. Some people say that this is not a village-owned company. How dare you, isn't the company under Feng Ying's name owned by the village? The business of the Messenger Bird Postal Express Company has covered the Kingdom of Wind, as well as the surrounding small countries such as the Kingdom of Birds, the Kingdom of Rain, and the Kingdom of Rivers. The original communication business of the post office was hit hard and became a sunset industry. Now, if the citizens of the Kingdom of Wind want to reach the Sand Village, they only need to send an email to make an appointment, and the fire-breathing camel will come to their door. The fee is calculated according to the distance, and the round trip is safe and guaranteed. As for why so many people came to the Sand Village? Because the Sand Village has vigorously developed tourism in the Pokémon habitat and created what Luosha calls the Pokémon economy. The Sand Village designated 5 nearby green habitats as tourist attractions. These 5 tourist attractions have become famous travel destinations in the ninja world. The first habitat is a high-consumption scenic spot, the Pokémon Hot Spring Resort. The water of the hot spring comes from the mosquito-repellent frog, and the high temperature comes from the duck-billed fire dragon. The Sand Village built the only hot spring in the Kingdom of Wind. A commercial district was built around the hot springs. In the commercial district, the Hawaja Madam Hotel chain has become a high-end hotel with its fresh green plants. The Huhu Juice Shop and Duo Duo Ice Cream Shop have become very popular and have become high-end products. Being able to drink a glass of cold juice or eat ice cream in the Kingdom of Wind was a luxury that the nobles had never dared to think of before. But it is possible at the Pokémon Hot Spring Resort. The nobles of the Kingdom of Wind are proud to have visited the Pokémon Resort. To them, it is a status symbol. Luo Shat, it's so easy to make money from rich people. Chapter 22. Tourist Attractions, Workers Working Overtime. The second habitat area has an Pokémon Opera performance. The ticket price is 2 per person, and children are half price. The performance venue is right by the lake in an oasis. Singer, Fatty. Dancer, Dancing Swans. Track, Swan Waltz. The fame of Jigglypuff and the Dancing Swan has spread throughout the Kingdom of Wind, and they are often invited by nobles from all over the world to go on tours. Shagu accepted it gladly. They gave too much. The third habitat area has a desert garden, and the ticket price is RMB 2 per person, with children paying half price. In the desert, a garden suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Various rare species and unknown species of green plants from the Pokémon world attract a large number of tourists every day. The long-term existence of the desert garden depends entirely on an Pokémon. Kapamu. Tapamu is a land god Pokémon and the only orange quality legendary Pokémon drawn by Rosa in the past 3 years. Its characteristic is Grass Maker. It will lay down a grass field when it appears, and Tapamu's grass field can exist permanently. The arrival of Tapamu has enabled the Sand Village to have a large amount of arable land. Now Tapamu has reached LV50 and is slowly transforming the land of the Sand Village every day. Tapamu is also Rosa's first team of Pokémon and is Rosa's hidden trump card. Luo Shat, there are 7 Pokémon in a team. This is normal operation. The fourth habitat is the wild area. 3% of the Pokémon in the wild area are white quality Pokémon, % are green quality Pokémon, and occasionally blue quality Pokémon appear. The Pokémons in it can be captured without fighting. A Pokeball costs 2 yuan, and the price is absolutely fair. The wild area has a slogan of ordinary people can also become trainers and has become famous throughout the Wind Kingdom. The fifth habitat area was transformed into a tourist area by the Sand Village, suitable for civilian tourism. There are many Pokémons in the tourist area, and the Pokémons are very docile and can cooperate with tourists to take photos and check in. The ticket fee is 1,000 taels, and it can attract a large number of tourists every day. The above is the Pokémon economy that Sand Village has built over the past 3 years. The Sand Village spent a lot of money on habitat transformation in the past 2 years, and coupled with the cost of national publicity, it is now in a loss-making state. In the 3rd year, the Sand Village earned a huge fortune and successfully achieved self-sufficiency. Now, even without the funding from the daimyo, the Sand Village will not fall into an economic crisis. However, the relationship between the Sand Village and the daimyo is harmonious, and the development of the Sand Village's Pokémon industry also depends on the support of the daimyo. The Sand Village paid a huge amount of taxes to the daimyo's mansion. Looking at the huge sums of money, the daimyo naturally supported the development of the Sand Village. Maybe in the future, the Sand Village may appear with a piece of cloth on its head, which would be the most vivid visual experience I have seen in the world. Finally, of course, it is the development of the Pokémon shop. Uncle Roger is still the manager of the Pokémon shop, and Yakang's parents are the clerks. The main income of the Pokémon shop comes from Pokeballs and Pokémon food, and the second is evolution stones. The Pokémon shop has been expanded and now has 3 more Pokémon medical devices and 1 communication evolution machine. Rumble is a common Pokémon used by Genin in the Sand Village. 10 out of 7 people have captured Guadud or Rumble, and Rumble requires a communication link to evolve into Rumble Rock. Naturally, Luo Sha is not a black-hearted capitalist. He is happy to see the strength of the Sand Village ninjas enhanced. 1 communication evolution is 2, this price is really affordable, isn't it? As for the medical device, it is specially used to treat serious injuries and hidden injuries. The Jigglypuff is of purple quality, and Luasha is not yet able to popularize it on a large scale. The medical device solves Luasha's urgent needs. The Pokémon Notes clearly mentions that Pokémon need medical treatment at least once a month. Medical treatment for Pokémon is free. If a ninja is not willing to bring his Pokémon to recover from hidden injuries, the Sand Village will inevitably deprive him of his trainer qualification. The appearance of Pokémons also brought a lot of problems. The first was how to train spirits, something most ninjas knew nothing about. Luasha made public the training guides for Radon, Gauntlet and Diglett. Because these three Pokémon are the three great Pokémons of the Sand Village, making the training methods public can meet the needs of most ninjas. The cultivation guides for other Pokémons are by appointment only. As long as you make a reservation at the Pokémon shop, you can pick up the guide when you come to the Pokémon shop the next day. The second is the birth of the Elf Protection Law. Abandoning and abusing Pokémons are strictly prohibited, and offenders will be sent directly to the Sand Village prison for forced labor. The Elf Protection Law covers all aspects of ninjas and Pokémons, and the punishments are severe. Shago did this naturally because in Shago's cognition, there are existences above the Shadow level in the Pokémon world. Super Shadow and 6 Paths level strongmen. Therefore, we must remain in awe of the Pokémons. Because of the Elf Protection Law, the workload of the police department has also increased greatly in the past 3 years, and they often go out of the village to capture fugitives, but every ninja in the police department is smiling. Because the village not only increased the salaries of the police department, but also distributed Pokémons to them, each of them a large wolfhound. This is a unique treatment among all departments in the Sand Village. What, you said the Umbu also sent messenger birds? Although the Umbu has a messenger bird, only 100 ninjas have it. The ninjas in the police department are very motivated at work, as they are led around by big wolfhounds all day long. As for the ninjas in the interrogation department, they are either thinking about changing jobs or are on their way to changing jobs every day. The natural target of job hopping is the police department because the police department is expanding its recruitment. The police department is a bit busy, but the benefits are good. And in terms of busyness, which department is as busy as the interrogation department? Ebizo looked at his dwindling number of subordinates and went to Shago to cry to him. Lord Kazekage, my life is so hard. I work diligently in the interrogation department. Even if I have no credit, I have worked hard. There are so many spies in the Sand Village now. I am busy every day, but the number of ninjas in the interrogation department is getting smaller and smaller. Although the salary has increased, it has increased in every department. Young people nowadays don't want to do interrogation work, and they all run away. Even many elderly people are on the run. Forget about the interrogation department, my sister is busy fishing, traveling and playing with her grandson every day. The puppet class is handed over to Jiyu, and the medical department is handed over to Lien. But the couple also bullied me, an old man. After having a child, they stopped paying attention to their work. The documents from the medical department and the puppet class were also handed over to me. How can I live like this? Wu Yu. Hai Lao Zhang cried in the Feng Ying building, looking like he was about to jump off the building. Helpless Shago tried his best to comfort her. Gadex, who was standing by, felt a sense of sympathy when listening to Ebizo's crying. The administrative department that Caltex is in charge of has also been very busy in the past 3 years. The 3 Pokémon classes, namely the Greening class, Rainfall class, and Firefighting class, are under the management of the administrative department. Chapter 23, Feng Ying's scandal makes the headlines. The 2 village-owned companies, the Flaming Camel Desert Transport Company and the Messenger Bird Postal Express Company, are also under the jurisdiction of the administrative department. There are also Feng Ying-owned Duo Duo Ice Cream Shop, Huhu Juice Shop, and Madame Huaja Hotel Chain, which are also managed by the administration department. Do you think this is over? The real big head is at the back. Those 5 tourist attractions are also under the charge of the administrative department. The administrative department is also expanding its recruitment every year. But ninjas are mostly good at fighting. It would be too difficult for them to work. The administration department cannot recruit enough people every year, so everyone can only take on more responsibilities. As time goes by, we get used to it. Bullshit. I'm numb. People in the administration department cannot change jobs because the administration department is the first department. People can only jump from the bottom to the top, not from the top to the bottom. People in the interrogation department never change jobs to the administration department. Interrogation department ninja, am I crazy? Jumping to a more tiring department to work like a slave? Shagu looked at the two people crying in front of him and fell silent. There's no comfort to be had. Workaholics will never understand the feelings of workers. Leaders will not understand the feelings of their employees. Although Shagu didn't understand, he was a good leader. So, the Sand Village began to reorganize its departments. March 29 RD, the 7th year of Sunagakure. Sand Village, Kazekage Building. The purpose of convening this high-level meeting of Sand Village is to discuss the issue of departmental reorganization. The Sand Village has developed rapidly in the past 3 years, and the old system cannot keep up with the pace of economic development. There are drawbacks in the system, so we need to discuss and find solutions. You can raise any suggestions you have. Shagu went straight to the point. The people below looked at each other and the conference hall fell into silence. Caltex, you speak. Seeing everyone's reaction, Shagu knew that no one would speak, so he started to call out names. Lord Feng Ying, I think we can set up a new department, the business department, which will be responsible for the affairs of the 5 tourist attractions. And then set up an Pokémon department to be responsible for the affairs of the 2 companies and 3 Pokémon classes. Gadex stood up and stated his suggestions, trying to relieve the pressure on the administrative department. Lord Kazekage, the interrogation department is so short-staffed that we need to recruit new ninjas urgently. We need at least twice as many people as we have now. Seeing that Gadex did not mention the interrogation department, Ebizo spoke hurriedly. Lord Kazekage, I propose that Jiao be appointed as the leader of the puppet class, and Lien as the director of the medical department. Jiao now has the strength of an elite jonin, which is enough for him to be the leader of the puppet class. As for Lien, you know that child, she already possessed the strength of an elite jonin. Cho took this opportunity to put down all the burdens on her shoulders. Ebizo glanced at Cho with a twitching expression. Cho looked back and Ebizo immediately lowered his head. Although Ebizo's face remained expressionless, the villain in his heart was crying wildly. Well, what about you? Do you have any suggestions? Shagu looked at the other ministers. Lord Kazekage, the Sand Village now has 45 elite Jonin level ninjas, 90 Jonin level ninjas, and 322 special Jonin level ninjas. Due to the appearance of Pokémons, the number of Jonins has increased too fast. Should we increase the difficulty of the assessment? Akira, the leader of the Jonin squad, said immediately. With so many Jonin, Akira is naturally happy. However, the assessment standards for the Sand Village ninjas have always been lower than those of Konoha. Akira believes that the Sand Village is now as good as Konoha, so the assessment standards must naturally be matched with those of Konoha in order to demonstrate the strength of the Sand Village ninjas. After an afternoon of discussion, the Sand Village decided to reorganize its departments. The changes to the various departments of the Sand Village after the reorganization are as follows. Medical Department, Minister Lien. Ministry of Commerce, Minister Chien Duo. Elf Department, Minister Nami. Puppet Class, Class Leader Jiayu. Shagu naturally agreed to Cho's request, and Jiayu and Lien both took office. As for Ebizo, no one cares about his feelings. In fact, Ebizo, who was in charge of 3 departments, had a gloomy face and fainted in the toilet. The Minister of Commerce Chien Duo's strength barely reaches the level of a special Jonin. His ability is average, but he is indeed a genius in business. The initial construction of the 5 tourist areas was completed by Luo Shat, but the specific development and implementation were completed by Chien Duo. Chien Duo was originally the richest ninja in the Sand Village, and his business was very successful. Seeing his amazing talent, Luo Sha hired him as the chairman of the Fire Camel Transport Company. Faced with the olive branch thrown by the Crown Prince, Chien Duo gladly took the position. Later, Chien Duo developed the company and won Luo Sha's approval. Luo Sha had a chat with him, handed over the affairs of the 5 tourist areas to him, and gave him a large rock snake egg. 3 months ago, Chien Duo was promoted to a special Jonin with the help of Steelix. Chien Duo's ability is average, but everyone present agrees that Chien Duo should be the Minister of Commerce. As for Nami, it was because she could communicate with spirits. When Luo Sha first learned about this, he was extremely surprised, but he could not find the reason. It was not until Rosa won the guaranteed draw and obtained the power of Tokiwa that he discovered that Nami had a physique that was close to natural energy. This means that Nami can practice fairy arts. Luo Sha, who possesses the power of Changpan, can also practice fairy arts. Luo Sha did not hide it from Shagu, and told Shagu about his idea of practicing fairy arts and his and Nami's special physiques. However, Shagu refused to agree and rejected Luo Sha firmly. Luo Sha knew that he could not convince Shagu in a short period of time, so he gave up temporarily. In addition to her affinity with natural energy, Nami is also an outstanding trainer. Nami loves water Pokémons so much that she formed a rainy day team without any guidance. Frog King, Fast Swim Frog, Gotha Duck, Spiny Ammonite, Lottie Kappa. With Frog King as the core, the rainy day team was formed. Luo Sha is stunningly beautiful. What a talent! After Luo Sha drew the Blastoise egg in the lottery, Luo Sha and his friends had no intention of raising Blastoise, so they gave the egg to Nami. For the Blastoise with the Rain Disc attribute, there is really no one more suitable than Nami. Rain Plate, when it rains, HP will slowly recover. Nami is very grateful to Rosa. But Nami has no idea about Rosa because of her age. Nami wants to be Rosa's mother. With the help of the rainy day team, Nami was promoted from a special Jonin to an elite Jonin in 3 years. She became a hot topic in the Sand Village and was known as the Rainy Day Girl. In addition to her strength, there must be other big news why Nami has been talked about by the villagers for so long. No, it's a big scandal. After becoming an elite Jonin, Nami was full of energy and began to pursue Shaku and expressed her love boldly. He made a public confession of his feelings at the awarding ceremony for the elite Jonin, and the confession made headlines in Sunagakure that day. Nami was rejected, but she was not discouraged. Now Nami is pursuing Shagu every day, and the ministers are watching her having fun and giving Nami bad advice. Nami single-handedly feeds a bunch of tabloids. The big newspapers have been warned by Feng Ying and dare not write about Feng Ying's scandals, but the small newspapers dare to do so. What? Feng Ying sent people to arrest me. I'm hiding in a small village in the mountains in the northern part of the Wind Kingdom. Can he catch me? What? My newspaper was shut down? What are you afraid of? The newspaper is just an empty shell and its headquarters is in the mountains. Just writing about the scandal between Nami and Kazekage will be a big hit. What these presidents could never have imagined is that in the near future they would all be working on sewing machines in a Sunagakure prison. In short, Nami's appointment as Minister of the Pokémon Department was unanimously approved. Chapter 24. Ebizo and the Crystal Lamp Spirit. The medical department also has an Pokémon, Wind Chime. Wind Chime is a green quality Pokémon with the skill Healing Wish, which is very suitable for medical ninjas. The puppet class does not have a dedicated Pokémon organization, but puppeteers like Nidoking and Nidoqueen very much. Nidoking and Nidoqueen have become the standard configuration of puppeteers. The interrogation department also underwent some changes. No young people wanted to go to the interrogation department, but they couldn't be forced to go. Ebizo is miserable, and Seiku is also worried. Finally, Shagu went to find Luo Sha. Since humans didn't want to go, there must be some Pokémons willing to go. The Sand Village is organized. After some thought, Luo Sha thought of 2 kinds of Pokémons. Death's Coffin and the Haunted Eyes. The soul-snatching eyes were green in quality and not expensive. Luo Sha directly exchanged 20 Pokémon coins for 20 soul-snatching eyes Pokémon eggs, which was only 2,000 million taels. Luo Sha's heart was bleeding, but his face was calm. The Death Coffin was of blue quality. Luo Sha spent 25 Pokémon coins and exchanged them for 5 Pokémon eggs, which was only 2,500 million taels. Not a loss. Anyway, they all belong to the Sand Village, so what belongs to the Sand Village is mine. Oh, you asked why Luo Sha didn't ask Shagu for money? Shagu knew that Luo Sha was extremely wealthy now, and at least half of the profits from the Pokémon businesses such as the Pokémon Shop and Huhu Juice Shop were eaten by Luo Sha. Luo Sha said it was used to build the Pokémon world. Shagu had no doubts about it. The Pokémons would take half of the shareholder shares, so Shagu understood. Luo Sha is richer than Shagu now. How could Shagu give money to Luo Sha? Shagu, Feng Ying is just a worker. The village's money has nothing to do with Feng Ying. After retirement, he will live on the village's pension and his son's filial piety. Ebizo was overjoyed when he got the Pokémon eggs, and he allocated the organization to 15 eggs on the spot. The ninjas from the interrogation department were equally delighted. The interrogation department has stood up. The interrogation department also has its own exclusive Pokémon. Ha 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 ha. I laughed and laughed until I cried. After all the hardship comes happiness. Ebizo was a good leader. He did not take any Pokémon eggs but distributed them to his subordinates. The current ninjas in the interrogation department received 2 salaries, one for themselves and one for the Pokémons. The Pokémons also have a system, so they naturally have a salary. But the Pokémons are still babies, so how can they get money? Of course, their parents keep it for them. The interrogation department had new Pokémons and a salary increase. Ebizo successfully won over the hearts of the people, and the interrogation department finally settled down. Ebizo's strength has improved a little in the past 3 years, and his strength has reached the first echelon of elite Jonin. If expressed in grades, it should be LV69 Ebizo. In addition to the 3 starting families of the Sand Village, Radon, Gauntlet, and Diglett, Ebizo also has a crystal lamp spirit given by Rasa. Crystal lamp spirits can absorb life force to improve themselves, which makes them very suitable for the interrogation department. In the past 3 years, the interrogation department has had new people coming in every day, and the crystal lamp spirit is going crazy with joy. I can't breathe it in. I can't breathe it in at all. The ninjas from the interrogation department ran away one after another due to excessive work pressure. Ebizo wanted to cry, but the crystal lamp spirit wanted to laugh. Ebizo, where are the people? Who is on duty today? Why are you the only one here? Corporate Slave A, boss, Corporate Slave B passed the exam to join the security department and has packed up and left. Corporate Slave C found a noble lady and resigned to get married, but he remembered the good things about the interrogation department and said before he left that he would donate a large sum of money to us after inheriting the estate. Corporate Slave D. Corporate Slave D also found a partner to marry, although he's a man, but he said he's fine with any man as long as he can leave the interrogation department. Ebizo, what about the others? Social Animal A, everyone else has gone to tourist attractions to be tour guides. Although they earn less, the work is easy and the mood is good. Besides, there are so many nobles in tourist attractions every day. If one of them takes a fancy to you, you can escape from the sea of suffering and live a good life. At least there is hope for the future, unlike in the interrogation department. Minister, I came here because I was worried that no one would come to give you the resignation letter today. This is our resignation letter. In fact, I am here to resign as well. Corporate Animal A handed a stack of resignation letters to Ebizo and ran away. Ebizo was alone, disheveled in the wind. Crystal Lamp Spirit, I can increase my workload again. I'm so happy, Master, what's wrong with you? Aren't you happy? Ebizo, happy, happy. I am really very happy. Crystal Lamp Spirit, Master? Master, what's wrong with you? Someone come quickly, my master has fainted. The crystal lamp spirit ran out to look for people and found that there was no other living person in the entire interrogation building except the spy locked in the cell. Oh, it turns out that all the employees resigned collectively today. Ever since Ebizo fainted that day, the crystal lamp spirit has been working even harder. In a 24-hour day, 23 hours are spent at work. Crystal lamp spirit, 007 is a blessing. Why can't those ninjas stand it and want to run away? If they don't do it, there are people who will do it. Yesterday, 10 new graduating ninjas came to the interrogation department, and the master has more smiles on his face. Crystal Lamp Spirit, I will try my best to help my master solve his problems. I inhale, I inhale, I inhale, inhale, inhale. Spies, don't come over here. Brotherling, stop it. Ah! Stop sucking, I'm going to be sucked to death. The crystal lamp fire spirit absorbs energy every day, works hard and is self-disciplined. Its strength has soared and it has reached LV69, which is even stronger than Ebizo. After all, crystal lamp spirit is a 3V Pokémon, and Ebizo should be considered 2V, right? Anyway, crystal lamp fire spirit is on the road to a breakthrough, while Ebizo is on the road to being stuck. In the future, Ebizo will probably rely on the Crystal Lamp Fire Spirit to fly and become a cage-level strongman. Crystal Lamp Spirit, who do I look down on? Who can be as hardworking and self-disciplined as me? Who can be as introverted as me? Who can absorb as much as I do? I will at least be a super shadow level strongman in the future. Holding the thigh of the Crystal Lamp Spirit, the salted fish Ebizo was complacent. Ebizo, can I become a super shadow level pendant in the future? Defeating my sister and turning the tables is not a dream, he. Poor Ebizo, he thought that by clinging to the Crystal Lamp Spirit he could defeat Cho, who had bullied him all his life. Little did people know that Xianyucho is also a wall hanger. At this time, Cho was fishing in the oasis, but unlike before when she was alone, she now had a fishing friend, King Dayday. On the surface, Slow King is fishing, but in fact he is exercising his superpowers in his mind. Every time Cho catches a fish, Slowpoke will use his superpowers to catch a fish as well, but he is always one step behind Cho. Slow King trained his superpowers 24 hours a day, and in 3 years he broke through to the level of Cage, becoming the new hidden boss of the Sand Village. Even Luosha didn't know about the existence of King Slowpoke. As for why King Dai works so hard? It was a quiet afternoon. Cho was swimming in the lake and Dai was thinking about life in the lake. King Dai, what is the meaning of the existence of Pokémons? What is the meaning of human existence? Do Pokémons and humans have something in common? Can Pokémons and humans be together? King Dai was disturbed by the noise of Cho swimming. King Dai glanced at Cho and couldn't take his eyes off her. King Dai was captivated by her. King Dayday has a goal in life, to protect the most beautiful Cho. King Dai no longer thinks about life, but accompanies Cho fishing, swimming, and playing with his grandchildren every day. At the same time, he trains his superpowers 24 hours a day. You know what, 40-year-old Cho still has her charm. She not only charms a lot of young handsome men in the Sand Village, but also King Slowpoke. Chapter 25 March 29 RD, the 7th year of Sunagakure. Sand Village, Ninja School, Grade 1, Class. Luosha came to the ninja school for the first time and was bored while attending the Pokémon class. Ninja schools have added a new subject, Spirit Studies. The content is not very profound, and it mainly teaches students how to cultivate spirits. The textbooks on Pokémon studies were all written by Luosha, and it would be a miracle if Luosha could understand them. Luosha has now become the richest man in Sunagakure in the eyes of everyone, but only Luosha himself knows that he has always been poor. In the first year, Luosha's daily income was about 100 million taels. In the second year, Luosha's daily income was about 150 million taels. In the third year, Luosha earned 300 million taels every day just by lying down, which is equivalent to 3 Pokémon coins. The Pokémon store has a net profit of about 150 million taels per day, the Huhu Juice Shop and Duo Ice Cream Shop have a net profit of about 30 taels per day, and the Hwaja Madam Hotel chain and Hot Spring Resort Hotel have a net profit of about 50 taels per day. Together with the 2 major village-owned companies, they bring in about 70 taels of dividends every day. Luosha exchanged all the silver for Pokémon coins. During these 3 years, Luosha obtained 2,000 million Pokémon coins, equivalent to 20 billion taels. During this period, Luosha spent 500 million coins to buy a Metagross egg and another 50 coins to buy a dragon-headed Diglett egg. Luosha used the remaining 1,450 million coins for the lottery. Most of the Pokémon that were drawn were not suitable for the Sandstorm team. Luosha put half of them on the Pokémon shop, and gave the other half to Shagu, who would be assigned to ninjas with outstanding talents. Of course, Luosha kept all the purple quality Pokémon eggs for himself or to give to his friends. Through the lottery over the past 3 years, Luosha has obtained 1 red, 14 orange, 140 purple, and 1,400 blue items. White and green items are almost always sold in the Pokémon shop. The blue item was given by Luosha to Shagu as a reward from the Sand Village for the Sand Village ninjas to redeem. Purple items include 123 evolution stones, carrying items, skill discs, and other items, 2 purple Pokémon habitats and 15 purple quality Pokémon eggs. Rosa put all the unused items in the system backpack. The habitat has been deployed to the Kingdom of Wind. Rosa left behind 3 Pokémon eggs, namely Gardevoir, Gengar, and Seduc, Missy version. Luo Xia gave the other 12 purple quality Pokémon eggs to his younger brothers and the upper echelons of Sand Village as the main force. The 14 orange items are as follows. 1 Pokémon Egg, Kapamu. 3 Keystones and 5 Mega Evolution Stones. Banjura Mega Evolution Stone, Charizard Mega Evolution Stone, Swampert Mega Evolution Stone, Charizard Mega Evolution Stone, Agrin Mega Evolution Stone. There are 3 orange props, Rustling Rocks, Leftovers, and Focusing Mirror. 1 Magic Candy, Orange. 1 Ability Evergreen Power, Orange. Rustling Rocks can intensify sandstorm weather, and Luoxia gave them to Pang Yanghua. Leftovers can restore the HP of the Pokémons every turn, and Luoxia gave them to Shakira. The Focusing Mirror can increase the probability of hitting the vital points, and Luoxia gave them to Long to Diglett. The magical Candy Rosa saved it, and the power of Evergreen Rosa learned it automatically. Finally, there is the red quality prize Poseidon's Feather. Poseidon's Feather, Logia's most important tail feather, which embodies Logia's divine power. According to legend, the wearer will be watched by Poseidon and receive his blessing. Effect 1, if worn for a long time, the Pokémon's level and potential can be slowly improved. Effect 2, psychic and flying skills are increased by 50%. Effect 3, able to live in seawater. Effect 4, summon the Phantom of Poseidon to fight. The Phantom of Poseidon is Super Shadow level. The Phantom lasts for 5 minutes and has a cooldown of 72 hours. Luoxia gave Poseidon's Feather to Metagross, and the 2-year-old Metagross was already level 45. When Metagross reaches Shadow level, Luoxia will give Poseidon's Feather to Gardevoir. Luo Xia was still very satisfied with the Feather of Poseidon. After all, it was a resource that could be used for a long time. If Luo Xia is willing, he can directly use 1,000 million Pokémon coins to exchange for a Pokémon Egg, red, of his own choice. A first-level God Pokémon Egg. But if you directly spend 900 million Pokémon coins to participate in the lottery, you can also get the red guaranteed prize, and you can also get 100 purple and 10 orange prizes. Luo Xia went all in again without hesitation. As you can see, the non-African won all the guaranteed prizes. Luo Xia looked at the remaining 200 million Pokémon coins in the system and fell into melancholy. The Pokémons and habitats that Luo Xia had been longing for did not appear in the red guaranteed prize, so Luo Xia prepared to start saving Pokémon coins and use a 6% off coupon to buy a red quality Pokémon Egg. Luo Xia, bad luck, bad luck, bad luck. The Pokémon world at this moment. Lugia, who was in the deep sea, was very depressed. He was furious when he woke up half a year ago and found that his most beloved tail feathers were gone. He didn't know which thief could steal his most precious tail feathers without anyone noticing. He was a first-level god. Even if Arceus came, he couldn't steal them. Although Arceus could beat Lugia up and pluck its feathers, Arceus is not such a spirit. After half a year, Lugia still hasn't found the thief who stole its feathers, and now it has given up. But its tail is still bald, and its butt feels cold and uncomfortable. Lugia has not dared to meet other legendary beasts in the past 6 months and even rejected the invitation from Ho-Oh. It does not want to become a laughingstock in the legendary beast circle like Groudon. Today, the daimyo of the Wind Country came to the Sand Village to inspect the ninja school. Shaco captured Rasa, the leader of the Sand Village who skipped classes every day. Since the leader has been arrested, the younger brothers are naturally not spared. On Luoxia's left sat Karura, on his right sat Yekara, and in front sat Suya. The 3 of them were listening to the class attentively. Shira was alone in the first grade class 1 on the first floor. The reason why the daimyo came to the Sand Village is because the ninja world has been somewhat unstable recently. For 3 years, the Sand Village and the 4 major ninja villages were engaged in a war of words. The Sand Village's Ministry of Foreign Affairs fought alone against the group of scholars and cursed the 4 major ninja villages back, but everyone restrained themselves and did not take action. Because attacking the Kingdom of Wind is purely a loss of money. However, the war sentiment within the Sand Village is growing. Many Sand Village ninjas believe that the Sand Village is no weaker than Konoha, and have long been looking forward to the arrival of war, defeating Konoha and invading the land of the Fire Country. Luo Xia knew that war was inevitable. It is now the 29th year of Sunagakure, which is the 30th year of Konoha. The second ninja war in the original work is about to come. Except for Konoha, which is located in the most fertile area of the ninja world, the other 4 ninja villages are restless, and the Rain Village in the Rain Country is equally restless. The daimyo of Shikoku wanted to invade the territory of the Land of Fire and change the country's poverty. As the country's violent institutions, the 4 ninja villages naturally have the same idea. As for the Hidden Rain Village, Hanzo of the Salamander has long been dissatisfied with the situation of the Hidden Rain Village in the ninja world. Now Hanzo of the Salamander is full of vigor and confidence as the demigod of the ninja world. The Hidden Rain Village is already strong enough to challenge the 5 major ninja villages. Among the 5 major ninja villages that are now in the open, the Uegakure village has only 1 cage-level strongman, Onaki, the Kumagakure village has 2 cage-level strongmen, the Ob combination, but the current 8 Tails Jinchuriki is not stable. The Mist village has 1 cage-level strongman, the 3rd Mizu cage, the Sand village has 1 cage-level strongman, Seigo, and Konoha also has only 1 cage-level strongman, Sarutobi Hiruzen. Both Cho and Heitake Sakumo are cage-level warriors who became famous during the Second Ninja War, and their fame has not yet reached its peak. Cho is one of the high-ranking officials of the Sand Village. She goes fishing every day. Even the middle and lower ninjas of the Sand Village think that Cho is an elite jonin. Only the high-ranking officials of the Sand Village know clearly that Cho is at the cage level. Since Cho was able to control the Chikamatsu 10 people of the Nidaime Shaman, Cho has reached the level of cage. But since becoming a cage-level strongman, Cho has been a scumbag. Konoha's Heitake Sakumo is still a member of the Umbu, and the outside world also believes that Heitake Sakumo is an elite jonin. Although Hanzo of the Salamander believed that the Hidden Rain Village was no weaker than the 5 major ninja villages, he was not stupid enough to initiate a war. The Hidden Rain Village is actively preparing for war, waiting for an opportunity to make the Rain Ninjas famous in the ninja world.